Roughriders are sharing that experience with their fans today as the club celebrates a Grey Cup win. The team arrived back in Regina yesterday afternoon and staged a quick greet with fans at Mosaic Stadium, where the players showed off the Grey Cup that Rider Nation has been cherishing. Today is the main event as that trophy is being led down to the ledge by the green and white. It was the Riders' first Cup win since 2013 and only the second championship in 19 years. Riders fan Nathan Clarahue didn't think it would be so long between Grey Cups.
Just going back upon our 2007 team, we were in a few Grey Cups a few years after that because of how strong that team was. And I kind of was looking towards the same.
We'll have extensive coverage of the parade today on the Sportscage, starting in just a few moments. The Saskatchewan Roughrider Foundation's Grey Cup 50-50 draw has shattered records, with the jackpot topping $2 million, the largest in CFL history. But the overwhelming response has caused problems. The foundation says some fans were charged twice, and in rare cases, even more than that. Others didn't get email confirmations. In a statement, the foundation says it's working with the lottery provider to reconcile payments and issue refunds. Those affected will be contacted directly. The draw will take place once the process is complete, but there's no timeline yet for announcing a winner. For updates, visit riders5050.ca. Southie RCMP say a 59-year-old man from Regina died and two other men were badly hurt after a single-vehicle crash on Piapot First Nation on Friday at around 9:15 p.m., and a 45-year-old woman is now facing impaired driving charges. Police say the SUV crashed east of Highway 6. EMS declared the man dead at the scene. Two passengers went to hospital with serious but non-life-threatening injuries. The woman driving was arrested and later released. She'll appear in Regina Provincial Court on January 5th, 2026. Provincial Secretary Jamie Martin and Saskatchewan MLAs are joining the Ukrainian community at the Legislative Building today to honor the millions who died during the 1932-33 famine in Ukraine, known as the Holodomor. Martin said the memory of this tragedy remains strong among Ukrainians in Saskatchewan and around the world. The word Holodomor means extermination by hunger. A candle was lit to burn all week during Holodomor Memorial Week. The man-made famine was created by the Soviet government and caused mass starvation and suffering across Ukraine. Canadian Western Agribition is less than a week away. The CEO of Agribition, Sean Kindop, says there is something for everyone at the Real District. For example, the Maple Leaf Finals Rodeo that's on next Wednesday through Saturday.
Yeah, absolutely. The contestants are in. The ticket sales have been incredible. I think that it's the fastest we've ever seen them move at the moment. So again, I would highly recommend heading to Ticketmaster to get your tickets. But yeah, we're going to have 4 incredible nights of rodeo.
You can also see plenty of cattle, sheep, alpacas, and other livestock at Agribition, which starts on Monday. That was your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com.
Tonight, mostly cloudy, risk for snow or freezing drizzle late, and a low down to -1. Tomorrow, looking at cloudy sky and flurries, high of 3. Tomorrow night, clearing, a low down to -8. Thursday, sunshine, and a high of +3. Friday, partly to mostly sunny sky, high of 5. And Saturday, mostly sunny and a high of 4.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
On Rough Riders, plunge right through that line. March the ball on down the field, a touchdown every time. Oh, Rough Riders, fight on for your fame. Fight, fellows, fight, and we will win this game.
Welcome to the Tuesday edition of the Sports Cage for Saskatchewan Lotteries. We are still living in it. They're rallying at the legislature right now as I watch the live stream from CTV Regina. Good on CTV for doing this. Jamarcus Hardrick is waving a Grey Cup champion flag. He's on the second level right now. It is awesome. We got 3 hours for you. We're going to run down the rally, have some audio from that. Glen Suitor will be by in about 10 minutes' time. We're going to kick it off with Glen a little earlier than usual. We're going to talk about the game and what he saw. We have Paul Woldu, former rider, former Saskatchewan Huskie, former Montreal Alouette. He's going to come on in hour 2. We're going to talk about the Grey Cup, but we're going to talk about the Vanier Cup, which is coming up this weekend. Arash Madani in hour 2, Luke Mullinder in hour 3, and Pump Jacks Trivia today. A chance to walk away with $50 to Pump Jacks Trivia. If you don't win, you still get a free lunch. Like I said, it's for Saskatchewan Lotteries on Tuesday. All of our guests will join us on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, and all the Greek favorites you love. And then you can participate. Engage with us. You can call in 936-6262, toll free 1-866-767-0620. If you are at the rally, we'd actually love a few calls. Let us know. And if not, Prairie Land Rentals text line always open. Send in your text messages and we'll get to us. Joining me on this Tuesday, back again, the professor, former CTV sports director, Don Hewitt. Now, we're watching this.
Yeah, great. You got it up on your screen, Barney.
Former employer CTV doing a heck of a job. The weather out there, what are we sitting at right now for a temperature? Because you brought it up, Don, that it is so nice out. That's probably the biggest rally that you remember.
Yeah, it's the most people that I remember seeing. And, of course, they have moved the Grey Cup game up a week from what is traditional. Mm-hmm. And this is what you get. A week from now, it could be 20 below, Barney. You live here, you know that. Mm-hmm. They've moved the Grey Cup up a week. And as a result, they've probably got the biggest crowd I've seen since they've been doing this in front of the legislature building. And It's still hard to believe. You have to pinch yourself, Barney, that the Saskatchewan Roughriders are the 2025 Grey Cup champions. But it's a fact, it's reality, and you're always immortalized a bit when you're a Roughrider and win the Grey Cup, immortalized forever in this province. How many times, for example, Glen Suitor coming up in a few minutes on your show here, Barney. How many times have we seen Glen Suitor raising his arms up as the holder for Dave Ridgway after Dave kicks the winning field goal in the 1989 Grey Cup game? He's immortalized too, and we see that video all the time, and these players and coaches and the executives and the general manager will also be immortalized forever. That's the way it works in Saskatchewan. We had, I should say, 4 years etched in our brains, etched deeply in our brains when the Roughriders won the Grey Cup. Now we get to etch one more year deeply in our brains so we can recite immediately. 2025 is added on to the other 4 years. And it'll be interesting to talk to Glen about that, about what it's like to be a player that won the Grey Cup and all the positive feedback you hear from anybody in this province about that accomplishment.
It's 3 degrees right now. You said it could be minus 20 next week. It could be close to that when we drive home today. We never know. But so the one thing that I'm watching at this rally, there's Ridgway right now. If you're watching the stream, the one thing when I'm watching this rally, and if you're down there, if you're just leaving or you're going to it, we're seeing the Roughriders on, I guess that would be, I'm going to call it the second level, outside. I've never seen anybody personally on that, what do we call it, rotunda? No, what is that? That deck area? Yeah. I've never seen balcony. I've never seen anybody on that.
Wow.
That's a great look. And they have the Grey Cup. Occupational health and safety might be called in because now somebody is standing a little too close to the ledge there.
Well, it's sort of like the Pope at the Vatican, isn't it? He's sort of
I was going to say when those nuts stormed the White House,
bigger than the Pope.
It seems
What's that?
When those nuts stormed the White House a few years ago, it's kind of seems like that. But it, like you said, it's they are now etched in history in this province.
Yep.
The thing is, and we're going to get the audio in a moment, I'm hoping, is when Trevor Harris spoke. Trevor Harris said, I'm paraphrasing, that it's now time to go back to back.
Right. And a great comment.
Trevor
100%.
Harris is coming back.
Oh, of course. He's the most outstanding player in the Grey Cup game. I think he's coming back. I don't think it takes a brain surgeon to figure that out. I mean, Jeremy O'Day's already said he wants him back. And you could tell in July, the way he was playing, that he's going to be back as a 40-year-old in Saskatchewan.
Yeah, and it probably a one-year deal. Colson, sorry.
I was just going to say, last time we used that balcony on the ledge was probably the 2013 Grey Cup.
See, I don't remember that rally at all. You said
It was colder.
It was cold. It wasn't the crowd that you're seeing here.
No, it was way colder. I do believe Colson's correct. They were up there in 2013.
Yeah, I got a
but,
picture up on the stream
People you're freezing and you're supporting your team. Right now, they're just enjoying themselves. They're not cold. They're just having a great time. And, for a lot of Rough Rider fans that were somewhat in shock when the team actually won the Grey Cup, I probably wasn't 100% convinced they'd won until Monday morning. I was still in shock.
Well, you had a few, you said.
Just strong Coca-Colas, Barney. Anyway, but now these people, there's no more shock going on. We won the 2025 Grey Cup here in Saskatchewan, and you got Luke on, you got Glen on, alumni. It means a lot to them too.
It's kind of it's the Sasky part of us, and I know you're from Sask, Colson's from Sask, I'm from Sask, Tegan, Dave. Like, you get it. Because you never get too cocky. You never get too arrogant. You can walk confidently, but you know that there's a lot of years in between championships most of the time. Like 7 to 13 is a close gap for my life.
Yeah, I think would that be the closest? 89 to 07, and then 07 to
like
13.
89.
We did pretty good there.
I remember, and a lot of people out there will remember, I remember my parents and uncles and aunties and all that. Like, that 89 win, it was like we were never going to win again. Like, it is something, it would be, I would put it up there and call me crazy with if the Leafs ever did have a chance to win the Stanley Cup. But it's 12 years. And I think about 13, my daughter was born. My son was 2. Yeah. But there was the stretch that we were there. Like, we were good in for that stretch of, let's say, 6 to, I know there's some down years there, but we were there in 9. We were there in 10. We got back. And then I think now we are realizing again that it is so hard to get there. So yeah, we are cheering, we are loud, we are confident, but we know our lane, and running it back to back, which has never been done. That's motivation enough for Trevor Harris. Now, does he take a little bit of a haircut? Who knows what the deal is going to look like when he comes back? I know they were talking on the show yesterday about marketing money. I've always said, okay, well, if there's no cap on marketing money, like, let's get as kinky as we can and find a way to bring these guys in playoff bonuses. Like, if you watch this team, Don, and we've talked about it on the show, we've had them on all year, the coaches, the players, anybody close to the team, they talk about this like brotherhood and how close they are, from the coaches to the players. It is a family, and that gets old and cheesy when it's said too much with teams, but you had to really feel it with this team. And when you talk to the coaches, when you talk to the players, but
it was there. It was palpable on the field.
With that feeling, how can't you think most of these guys are going to want to run it back? They're going to want to do something that's never been done. I get it. Money is huge. And when you're talking some of the money that these guys aren't making forever money. Some of them are making good money. Some of them are they're going to have to work in the off season. You put yourself in that situation. If you were in that situation, you're going to sit there and go, well, okay, yeah, maybe it's 10 after tax. Maybe it's 5-10 grand. But what am I going to go get my brains beat in Ottawa or somewhere? Like, you have a chance here to do something so special with such a special group. Florida Panthers, like I was like, there's no way they are going back, and then they add, and then they become better. Baseball.
Well, they had an interesting way to do it, sort of like Otani in LA, paying everybody years after they played. But
Kansas City Chiefs, they got very creative as well. For many years, it was the Patriots and Tom Brady taking a hometown discount because his wife was the breadwinner. He's like, I'm good. It'll be really interesting. And I just have a tough time as a person that's been around sports and just thinking about it, how most of these guys don't say, all right, let's knuckle up. We're going one more.
Well, Jeremy O'Day is going to have a very, I would say, interesting offseason and not an easy offseason, because let's just take two Rider Canadian receivers, for example. Sam Emilus. He caught every target thrown at him, which was 108 yards for Saskatchewan most valuable Canadian. We saw what Schaefer Baker could do once he's back. He was a huge key to the Roughriders winning the Grey Cup game. So you ask the question, okay, can Jeremy O'Day bring back both? And you go back to the cap, and you realize, while are free agents more valuable right after they win the Grey Cup? We could ask Glen that question, but probably the answer could be yes, they are a bit more valuable. And so will guys take haircuts to be together with this team, or will they have to just go with the money? We know what agents do, Barney. Agents tell them to take the money because they get a commission.
For sure.
So it's probably the most fascinating offseason that we'll see with the Roughriders for many years. And you'd have to think, and you don't want to go there too much because today we're celebrating a Grey Cup, but they're going to have to make some hard decisions on a few players that they may not be able to keep back, or bring back, from this Grey Cup championship year in order to sign some of the key players that are going to be due raises. Like Tommy Neal, you don't think he's going to get a raise? Of course he is. It's going to be difficult.
It's going to be, you're going to have to get creative. And I think there's a number of different ways to go about it. And Jeremy O'Day has his work cut out for him, but that's what he signed up for. Yeah. And I, personally, the Sam Emilus thing, that's the one that probably worries me. And, he's a Montreal guy. Is he going to go somewhere close to there? No, I don't know. We don't know how close these guys are with the team.
Well, they're close. They are definitely very close. In fact, I've never seen a coach being this close with the players and the players being this close with each other, really in a consistent basis, as I've seen on this team the last couple of years. Just to throw in one comment, the two greatest hires by a Rough Rider general manager in Saskatchewan, hiring a head coach, 1965, when then general manager Ken Preston hired Eagle Keys.
Before my time.
And 2 years ago, when Rough Rider general manager Jeremy O'Day hired the Grey Cup winning coach.
Yeah.
And Corey Mace. Those are the two greatest hires of my memory, going back some decades.
And to play with your brothers and to run it back, and some of you out there listening might remember, playing whatever sport, and if you could go back. The other thing too, they could all be boys and tight as friends. They also love this coaching staff. Like, that is another plus. So we'll see. Creative. We're going to have a lot of talk in the off season about
can Corey Mace keep all his assistants and his coordinators?
That's another thing that we can get to. I'll want to play safe, not safe with the coaching staff, because who's looking? But we got a lot to get to. Let's run back the game here with Glen Suitor when we come back. It's the Sports Cage. We are streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
This fall, the eyes of Canadian university football turn to Regina. The University of Regina, City of Regina, and U Sports proudly host the 60th anniversary of the Vanier Cup, Saturday, November 22nd at Mosaic Stadium. It's the first time Regina welcomes this historic championship, showcasing the best in Canadian university football. Tickets start at just $10 for youth and students, $20 for adults, and kids under 5 are free. That's Saturday, November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. Get your tickets now at vaniercup.com.
620 CKRM on location.
It's the Leroy Leisure Lotto. Hi there, I'm Cody Glyden in Leroy, and this is an opportunity to get $130,000. You know, in the past, the money has gone to so many organizations here in Leroy. By the way, when you buy your $100 ticket, that is going straight to volunteer organizations here in Leroy. It doesn't go to pay for a CEO or anything like that. It stays right in the Leroy area, helping out Leroy organizations like Minor Hockey, the Skating Club, Minor Ball, Leroy Daycare, Leroy Wildlife Federation, the Community Rink, and so much more. Now, all the draws will be happening Sunday night at 7 o'clock. There are 34 cash draws, and there's a 50-50 in there, too. We love a good old-fashioned 50-50 in this province. Grab your tickets. Get in there for that $130,000. 1-866-925-3769. 1-866-925-3769.
Why did you want me over for coffee? I was just here yesterday.
I'm struggling to pick out new openers for my Vaterstad Seed Hawk. Time for a change. I think I need more separation.
Call Andrew from Dutch. He'll come right to the farm like he did for me. I told him what I was looking for. He helped pick the right opener for my farm, and I'm sure he'd do the same for you.
That does sound easy. Do you have his number?
What good farmer doesn't?
Visit DutchOpeners.com. Dutch Agriculture, on farm for you.
Ready to raise your shower game? Rent a water heater and water softener together from Reliance Heath and turn every shower into a spa-worthy experience. Right now, when you rent a new water heater and water softener together, you'll get $400 back, sent by check after installation. Why settle for meh when you can upgrade your whole home's water and get big cashback savings? Don't miss out on this limited time offer.
Call on Reliance.
Call on Reliance Heath today.
Canada's Conservatives have put forward a bill that will unlock our nation's true potential by rewarding those who build and invest in Canada. The Canadian Sovereignty Act introduces measures such as the Canada First Reinvestment Tax Cut to eliminate capital gains tax on reinvestments in Canada, ensuring that money stays here and builds our great economy. My name is Warren Steinley, your Conservative Member of Parliament for Regina Luban, and I will always be on Saskatchewan's side.
Paid ad by Warren Steinley.
Time now for press coverage with CFL and Saskatchewan Roughrider legend Glen Suitor on the Sportscage. Brought to you by Bronco Plumbing and Heating, where professional service is guaranteed. They'll treat you right. 781-2090.
Welcome back. There he is for Bronco Plumbing and Heating, Glen Suitor. He's back at home. Hey, you're not allowed to cheer. You're supposed to
Rider
be
alumni.
impartial.
There he is. It's
Glen.
never.
Yeah.
You never forget being a Rough Rider.
They are celebrating
Glen
at
Suitor.
the legislature. Don Hewitt says it's the largest rally that he can remember. I don't know. Do you remember the '89 one?
Oh yeah, it was freezing cold, and we came into Taylor Field. And it was dark, but they put on the light, and one whole side of the stadium was jam-packed full, and everybody out there just partying. And it seemed
that
like
was a bigger crowd. Yeah,
they were partying for the full 72 hours from the time we won to the time we got back into Regina, and it was just, that I think. I don't want to speak for other players that have won the championship on other teams, but I know for a fact that when we won in '89, and I'm sure the sentiment is true with this group of guys, and certainly with their coach, we've heard him talk about it a ton, is that you immediately think about your fans. You immediately think, thank goodness we did this for this fan base, because they are so dedicated, so passionate. And I'm not sure that happens in big markets and big cities and things like that. I know that everyone is grateful to their fans. They love it, and that's how they get paid, that kind of thing. But I think it's unique in Saskatchewan, because I know, sitting with Dave Ridgway or with Ray Elgart after the championship and just thinking, the fans, they so deserve this. And it was a long drought for us guys.
Yeah, we talked about that 89 one. Like I remember my parents
years.
and the people that were sitting in the rumpus room watching that game as we celebrated. Like they didn't think it was ever going to happen again. And you guys beating Edmonton, I remember that, right? Like that was special. Okay, let's get to the game, Glenn, because we haven't talked about the game yet. And I wanted to leave it for you. Who aren't we talking about, or who haven't we talked about when you watched that game that stood out to you?
Jameer Thurman, I don't know how much you've talked about him, but I think he was double figures in tackles. I'm not sure.
11.
Yeah, 11. Okay, so he was in double figures, but it seemed to me that whenever we were looking to who made the play defensively, he was involved. His number was around. So, it's twofold for him. One is that, he was producing statistically, but also this is a guy that his teammates look up to. So his teammates are looking at him, and if he's not, overwhelmed by the stage, if he's not worried about, Davis Alexander making a play, if he's just in there saying, "Hey, we got this and let's go," and all that stuff, you all feel better around him in the huddle. So I think he would be one. Tommy Neild again, some clutch catches, just. I heard you guys talking about Rays. We can get to that after, but I thought some key plays by him. You've talked at length about Sam. I know he had a great year or great football game, but and it was a bit of an up and down game for Tavon Campbell, but he made the biggest play of the game, which turned out to be the biggest play of the season.
Yeah, that's right.
Which turned out to be a play that, as you mentioned, Don, will immortalize these guys forever in that province. And Tavon Campbell got beat a couple times, and that happens when you're in the secondary. That's part of the job. But what's most important is how you bounce back from it. Can you flush it? Can you get rid of it? And Tavon Campbell did that. He gave up a couple plays early in the game. He flushed it, didn't bother him, and he came back and made a couple big ones later. So I would definitely talk about him. And the other one, and I'm just happy for him, is Brett Lawther. And, I know there's fans that are probably still going, there was that miss, and that miss could have been ugly had they scored and got the 2-point convert to tie the game, But I'm just happy it didn't unfold like that for a great person, a real competitor. He had a very difficult year, one that, he's going to feel bad about the year, but this makes it all go away, guys. So I'm really happy it turned out the way it did for Brett Lawther.
Well, you talk about leadership, and you rightfully bring up Jameer Thurman. I thought it was the greatest linebacking performance in a Grey Cup game since Cleveland Van in '76, and Cleveland Van, ironically, had 11 tackles, lost the game, but still got the Most Valuable Defensive Player award. But when you take a look at leadership, so you want your middle linebacker, Glenn, I'm sure you'll agree, safety being maybe number 2, to be your leader on defense, and you want your quarterback to be the leader on offense, and they ticked both boxes. Now, I don't know, with Trevor Harris obviously on offense, I don't know how you guys mic the quarterback, whether it's just a really good parabolic mic or whether you actually had a mic on Trevor Harris. But on your broadcast, whoever was your audio operator did a great mix because we could really hear well Trevor Harris barking out the signals. And when you heard him barking out the signals right off the bat in that game on your broadcast, you just heard confidence and authority. He was ready to be the best quarterback in that game, and he was the best quarterback in that game. So you've got those two leaders, Thurman and Harris, who led those two sides of the ball and ended up winning the Grey Cup.
Yeah, and we do have a mic for playoffs and for the Grey Cup on the quarterbacks.
Okay.
So we did that, but we didn't want it to be overwhelming either. So there's a balance to be had there. and that's the producer and director's job. But yeah, the quarterback gives you that belief. The quarterback gives you hope, and I was not surprised for a second to see how businesslike Trevor Harris was. I mean, breaks a record for completion percentage. That shouldn't surprise us. He's one of, if not the most accurate passer in the game's history.
23 of 27.
Yeah. So, missed very few against. And guys, this is something that I've not heard in any of the post-game reports and wrap-ups or anything. That was the number one ranked defense in the league. A defense that confuses even veterans, a defense that creates turnovers, a defense that can be a nightmare to try to figure out who's coming, where's the pressure. And Noel Thorpe threw everything at him. He threw all his different looks. He threw show blitz. He threw everything that they had done that had caused all kinds of problems for a lot of teams, including Saskatchewan at times in the regular season. But Trevor figured it out. I mean, after that almost interception and a slow start, I mean, it was like he was processing in the first quarter. He was looking at what is it they're doing? How are they attacking us in this game in particular? And how can I beat that? And then once he figured it out in that second quarter and then onto the second half, the time of possession started to get lopsided. Very few opportunities for Davis Alexander. And, it started to unfold that way.
I was thinking, and you talked about the mic and how they have the camera come down right into the huddle. Very NFL-like, and they had Trevor Harris and all that. And I was thinking, I'm like, is that easy? How are they going to do that at McMahon next year? Are they going to have to get some fishing line and some duct tape? Because that doesn't seem like the easiest stadium to rig that thing up with that big speaker hanging in the middle. But we'll figure that out next year. The one thing that I think is overlooked here at Glen, too, or maybe not overlooked, but no one's talking about, and I brought it up, that week off. Like, we got to keep in mind, Montreal played an extra professional football game, and it wasn't an easy game. That time off with our offensive line and how A.J. Ouellette was able to get yards on first down violently, and we were healthy, right? I think that was such a key part of this whole championship run is finishing where they did.
Yeah, it is. And let's remember this when next year in late October, if the Riders are in first again and they have a chance to rest some players and everyone's all concerned, if you rest a player, he's going to be rusty. And then come playoff time, when you kick it off again, he's going to be rusty. Let's just remember this.
I'm big. I was on your side. I was big rest guy.
Yes, I know you were, Barney, but there was a lot that weren't. And it was like, we got it. Trevor's got to play. Like, even that, remember when he played against the Lions at the end of the season? And I even that quarter and a half or whatever it was too much as far as I was concerned.
Oh, yeah.
Like, honestly, I just, that rest is so important at that time of the year. And if you've done the right thing, if you've got the right locker room and you have enough veteran leadership like Thurman, like Trevor, you've got those guys are going to be prepared. They are not going to walk out there not looking at the game plan, not understanding, not taking mental reps. Honestly, they're grown men. They know what they're doing, and rest is most important.
You know what's going to happen? You know what's going to happen next October? We're going to be in the same position, and you and I are going to be like, rest, and everyone's going to be like, but last year it worked. So let them, and I'm like, oh no. Show that run again, Coulson, against BC. That's where, like, my stomach, like a pit in my stomach right here. A second quarter, 10-10 game, and he starts running around like he's Michael Vick. I'm like, what are you doing? No, but it all worked out in the end, and I just felt like Montreal, we don't know what's ailing them, and I'm sure if we look deep enough online, like, they had 3 extremely tough football games to play, and it's back to back. There's no rest, but it works out for us nonetheless. And I think they talked about it on the show yesterday, and it wasn't like a massive thing, but you kind of come out of that second half, which I thought the halftime show was actually pretty good.
Oh, it's tremendous.
I was like, I don't know who
It's really good.
I don't know who this guy is, but he should do Goo Goo Dolls and Green Day covers because he sounds great. His attire wasn't, I didn't think, the best, but whatever. It was good. And then
it helped ratings. You guys have a great number for the whole game. Glenn.
Great, yeah. To have good ratings in this day and age when everyone's, cut the cord. Good job. But I was like, okay, second half, Montreal is going to try and get the momentum back. And then that kick return. Talk about, stepping a little bit on the throat with Mario Alfred's return.
Yeah, again, we shouldn't be surprised. We've seen this guy do it a ton, and that was a team return too. By the way,
yeah,
huge.
We've seen Mario do that many times, and a lot of times he does it on his own, where he makes 4 or 5 guys miss and then takes off. But that was such a great wide field return. I mean, everybody on the teams there were in the right spot. It wasn't all like they were all blowing up their guy, but you don't have to. You just have to get the right angle, make sure you don't get a penalty. But there are 4 or 5 key blocks there taking guys out of their lanes, and Alfred doesn't really feel any type of pressure till he gets close to that sideline. And that was big. And here's one other thing before we have to move on to another topic. With the game, you know how narratives live with you for a long time, positive or negative. And for so many years now, we've been talking about the 13th man and that game, and it keeps coming up, and we have to show it again and all that because of the two teams playing in this Grey Cup. Back to that 13th man issue, the narrative can now shift to from the 13th man to the fumble on the one.
Exactly. Great point.
And now that becomes the new narrative that builds over the next however long. The fumble on the one that turned the table, because they go in there and they get the 2-point convert, and we're going to overtime. So,
Glenn,
who knows? Maybe Trevor gets a drive in there, but you know what I mean? It changes the dynamic in a hurry. So that was the play of the game.
Well, it's interesting you brought that up, because I thought before the game, well, who are the football gods going to like in this football game? Because there's tremendous parity in the CFL. We've seen it through the regular season. We've seen it through the playoffs. It has the best parity of any professional sports league in North America, the CFL, because it has such strict rules on salaries for both players and management. But the football gods really showed up on that particular play, because when Sales first jumped on that ball, he looked like he could be in the green, not the white of the goal line stripe, which would mean they'd have the ball at the 1. The ball sort of, and his momentum with the ball carried him onto the goal line, which meant it was a recovery in the end zone, and they would place the ball at the 30. Yeah. And I thought, man, there was the football gods shining away. Maybe they can win the Grey Cup.
Yeah, I would have even gone back further. If you believe in that sort of thing, that there's a mighty power helping one team or the other, I would go back further. So with the storyline of Brett throughout the entire season, he misses a field goal.
Mm-hmm.
And that turned out to be a touchdown and 2-point convert at the other end after the miss, and then let's say the Alouettes win in overtime, that just changes lives. It changes that whole the razor's edge between that becoming a thing and just an ugly way to finish throughout the entire season in that story, to a major play by Tavon Campbell, who sticks his head in there and nose in there and gets his nose dirty to cause the fumble, jam a fullback right into his own guy, and then create and then the fraction of an inch that you're talking about, Don, that the inch that ball rolled onto the goal line gave him instant field position instead of having to try to come out of the from the 1 yard line. So
and it's Shea Patterson. It's like, oh, I got fired from this company, and then I went and I do this. Like, it's just like, oh. Okay, I got a question here. First off, are the golf gods and the football gods, are they buddies? Because the golf gods hate me. 70 yards left. I'm going to have to talk to you about that, Don. Okay, I got a question here, Glenn, from a fan. Do you have any idea what the question's going to be about the Grey Cup game? He's going to ask.
That we had technical difficulties?
He would like to know why.
Yeah.
Brett.
Yeah, I unfortunately cannot help you with that answer because
You're busy doing other things.
Honestly, though, I will though, with all sincerity, apologize on behalf of TSN. I really don't know how these things happen. I do know that the day before, when we do our whole Saturday coverage, and then the pregame show on Sunday with, I think it's 4 or 5 hours of pregame show, there were some issues there too. And it was some power surges. I'm not trying to say it wasn't our responsibility. I'm not even sure why it happened.
Manitoba internet. No good.
But yeah, I don't know if it was that or it was power surges or what it was, but we had a couple of times when the power went out in the entire stadium right during our show.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Yeah, and they had to power up some new stuff and generators and things. And so I know that was happening, and I heard that there was technical difficulties. Apologize for that. That would have drove me nuts watching, especially a close game.
Well, we can just blame that. Let's just blame the Blue Bombers. Why not?
Yeah.
For the power surge.
Blame Winnipeg.
Just blame the
Wab Canoe. And come on, man. You got to get better. You know what, though? The game was on. Like, it was glitchy, but imagine if it went down. And my daughter thought it was our feed, our internet. And I was like, it's not us, honey. Like, look online. It's everywhere. Okay, I know we only got a couple of minutes here, but I want to ask you, Saskatchewan's got a chance for the first time ever to three-peat. Junior football champs, Grey Cup champs, Vanier Cup this weekend. Huskies, Montreal. Any comments on that one?
Well, Huskies, let's go, buddy. Let's go. Scott Fleury and the group. I mean, I feel like sort of an honorary member of the Huskies. I've spent so much time helping with that dog's breakfast every year.
Right. Yep.
And so I will on Thursday have my Husky hat on. I actually regret that I didn't just fly to Saskatchewan. Enjoyed watching the fans celebrate the Grey Cup and stay for the. I really should have done that and stay
your liver thanks you.
Yeah, exactly. But I'm going to be watching that, and I hope Scott Fleury and his guys have a great game, and also the quarterback. I'm thinking about the quarterback who is
Anton Amner. Yeah,
that was diagnosed, and I know his teammates are rallying around him, and we'll be thinking about him as they go to war out there.
Get this, guys. Saturday temperature for the Vanier. Mostly sunny and 6 degrees.
Wow.
That's awesome for late November football. Yeah. All right, Glenn. Thanks so much for hopping on early and doing this. Appreciate it. I'll talk to you next week. Get some rest. Oh, and thanks. Because tomorrow I got your partner in crime coming on, Rod Smith.
Oh, good, Rod. Yeah, just call him Big Daddy, because that's what I call him every time I see him.
I'm definitely not going to call him that. That seems weird.
Okay, but that's what I call him, because he's got that big Darth Vader voice that I just like.
He does.
It's amazing. So, good stuff, guys. Hey, congratulations to Rider Nation. Honestly, this doesn't happen very often. It's hard to win. Good job. Enjoy every second of it. Awesome.
There's Glen Suitor coming at you for Bronco Plumbing and Heating. Professional services guaranteed. They'll treat you right. You can call them at 781-2090. It is a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
If you've got a Steelcraft garage door, you've got a door with parts manufactured and assembled right here in Canada. A door with better insulation and seal, plus a warranty you're probably never going to use. Combined with a LiftMaster opener, it's the right choice. And if you don't have a Steelcraft garage door, you should get one. And a LiftMaster opener. 100% made by Canadians for Canadians. Steady, tariff-free pricing and great quality, no matter what.
Steelcraft Door, Steelcraft Door, Steelcraft Door. We offer more.
620 CKRM on location.
Cody Glyden broadcasting from the Leroy Leisure Lotto. I was just talking to somebody here a little while ago, like the cost to put kids into sports now. And you think about kids that are in minor hockey and they're having a great time, but the bank account sure isn't, is it? You got travel costs, accommodation costs, equipment costs, skating fees, all that type of stuff. And it adds up real quickly. How would you like $130,000 to help out this winter? You can help out the kids with the skating costs, and it would just go a long, long ways to the family budget. And that's what you could win here in the Leroy Leisure Lotto, $130,000, or you might get that $10,000 cash prize, or $5,000, or any of the other draws, 20 draws of $1,000, 10 draws of $500. But you've got to have a ticket, $100 each, 3 for $250. Ask about the 50-50, 1-866-925-3769, 1-866-925-3769.
Ever seen a cow in a toque or a sweater? You probably could. They're not fans of winter either. When it's freezing out, your herd still needs water. But good luck convincing them to trek half a mile through snowdrifts for a drink. That's where Keln Solar comes in. Their solar livestock watering systems let you drop a pump just about anywhere. No grid, no trenching, no drama. So let the cows stay cozy. You move the water. Keln Solar. They move water because your cows won't. Visit kelnsolar.com.
Getting in on more of the sports action you want is as easy as playing at sportselect.com. Simply make your picks online, generate your QR code, and lock in your bet at your local Lotto Spot retailer. Then sit back, watch the game, grip your chair, and high-five anyone nearby. Every bet is 100% legal with the chance of winning cash in hand. When you're ready to play, bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Play responsibly.
Text CKRM 306-936-6262 for Prairie Land Rentals. Renting heaters, skid steers, and most power tools for all those winter jobs. And your official Husqvarna snow thrower dealer. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street, where you deal with the owner. This is Sportscage. Be part of the show. Call 936-6262 or toll free 1-866-767-0620. 620 CKRM.
Thanks for tuning in, however you are. If it is on the radio, 620 CKRM, or through the streams, or maybe you're watching through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com. Don Hewitt, the professor, is with me. Colson's on the other side of the board. Let's go to the Prairie Land Rentals text line. Prairie Land Rentals, 600 Albert Street. You get to deal with the owners, whether you need a power tool or a skid steer. They can hook you up, and they're also your Husqvarna snow thrower dealer. Okay, one for you, Don.
Okay.
From Leanne. She wants to know...
oh, yeah, I know Leanne.
Could you ask the professor, where is Sean Bain Jr. right now? Never seen him on the game notes. Please asking. Driving me crazy. Thanks.
Okay, well, I wondered if they're going to start Sean Bain Jr. as a receiver to replace Robustelli, who was hurt in the Western Final, and they didn't. They put in a Canadian, a Joe. And the reason they did that, Barney, was so that with that extra Canadian as a receiver and a Joe, he was the 7th Canadian starter as a result. That meant that Saskatchewan could start Rose and Johnson, both Americans, at defensive tackle.
Gotcha.
So Saad got quite a few less reps than he usually has in the past. The Canadian defensive tackle Saad got, he did play, he did get some snaps, but he got less. And they, obviously Corey Mace decided he wanted to have the beef up the inside of his defensive line, and that's why he didn't bring in Bain Jr.
Speaking of Rose, someone on the YouTube was asking about that horse collar that you were talking in the breakdown. Yeah, I think it was James was asking why Rose got charged with that from the command center.
As the rule's written, that is a horse collar.
What the rule says is he did not, from what I could see, actually grab the collar. He grabbed just below the collar, and the CFL rule says you can also not take a player down by the nameplate area.
Mm-hmm.
So although he didn't grab, I didn't see the collar being grabbed, but I did see it being grabbed just underneath the collar on the nameplate. So unfortunately, it looked like the refs made it tick and tack.
But as the rule's written, It is. Trevor's got a good question here, and actually, shout out to Colson because he picked this up as well, I think, and you worked the game in the weekend.
Colson talk this one.
Hey, guys, Trevor from Regina here saying pretty late in the game, I believe Als took a penalty for procedure. Riders declined it. It would have been 2nd and 10. They reset the play clock, became 1st and 10. They got an extra down and no talk on it. Does Glenn know anything?
Yeah, it was actually a offside, so the play didn't start. So it was an offside called before the play started. We declined it, which because the play start, there's no loss of down. And because we declined it, that means the clock runs. So that was Mace being like, the extra 5 yards isn't going to help us, but getting seconds off the clock, that's going to help us.
And that good on you, because it took me a while to figure that out too. I'm like, the procedure, it's kind of like it never happened, and then we're eating the clock.
Well, I mean, let's be honest. What we've seen of Corey Mace as the head coach, particularly this year, but he is a very good game manager from the sidelines. He doesn't make, I can't think of a mistake he made all year not understanding the clock or understanding the rules. He's razor sharp, and that's why he's the head coach of the Grey Cup champion Saskatchewan Roughriders.
This could be text of the year or top 5 text of the year. We might have a prize for texter of the year as well coming up in December. Now, Joseph in Regina. He might be having a few at shots on 11th in Chamberlain right now. He sent us in a poem, a coach poem. If John or Gregory could pick up the keys to the Austin Mini, they could drive through the mace at Chamberlain. All 5 rider coaches. Joseph and Regina. Poetry. Joseph, you can send that kind of smoke in any time. I don't mind. Some people will call it cheesy. I love it. Have you guys talked about the offensive line? It was loaded. AJ was able to run. Trevor Harris kept clean. I mentioned it with Glenn. I think the offensive line, AJ, and that week off.
Well, yeah, that's right. And how many times have we seen line play win championships? Because I thought the Riders won both sides of the line of scrimmage. And you take a look at them winning the line of scrimmage on both ends. You take a look at 4-0 in turnovers for Saskatchewan, and you wonder, that score, that final score, a Rough Rider victory by 8 points, I believe flattered Montreal, because in so many areas, including quarterback play, Saskatchewan were the better team, and it's to me it flattered Montreal to lose by 8.
We got so much to get to here.
Although the Riders, I guess, they sort of had a turnover on 3rd and 2, didn't they, when they gambled late or early in the second quarter?
But we challenged that, didn't we?
But after that, though,
that was the challenge for pass interference, though, wasn't it?
I think it was a good play by the defense, though. It was a good play by the defensive back. But after that, after they gambled on that, Saskatchewan then, because they were so resilient, they scored 24 straight points after they didn't make that gamble.
All right.
That's how resilient they were.
We're going to go to break here. Cody up in Leroy. I want to know if they're still buzzing up there, the Leroy Tavern tonight, still celebrating the win. It's a Sports Cage. We are streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Sometimes there's a song you just gotta hear. And every Sunday morning from 10 till noon, we give you the chance to play your favorites with the Sunday Morning Request and Dedication Program. 2 hours set aside to play what you want.
Hey, Cindy, what can I play for you today?
Forever and Ever Amen by Randy Travis.
Good morning, Ray. Could you play Coal Miner's Daughter for me?
I wonder if I could request Eagle When She Flies by Dolly Parton.
Sure could.
It's all brought to you by Matt's Furniture. Online at mattsfurniture.ca. True Fit Denture Clinic. No one should know you wear dentures, not even you. The Sunday Morning Request and Dedication Program with Ray Allen from country's greatest hits. 620 CKRM. 620 CKRM on location.
Well, good afternoon, Saskatchewan. It's Cody Glyden here with the Leroy Leisure Lotto. $130,000 is the grand prize. Maybe you've always wanted to go on a dream trip somewhere. I know my dream trip is the UK, Italy, and Greece. In that order, too. What about yours? Where would you like to go? Maybe you've already gone on your dream trip and now you're paying it off and you're going, yeah, you know what? I could do with some extra money in the house. That would be real nice in the family budget. Well, that's the grand prize, the leisure package, or $130,000. Maybe you'll get the second prize, that patio party on the patio package, or $10,000. Third prize, $5,000. And there are other cash prizes as well, including that 50-50. Now, tickets start at $100 each, 3 for $250. Here's the number, 1-866-925-3769. 1-866-925-3769.
So, since that little ding on my car last week, I don't know where to take it.
I don't even know. That's easy. Take it to Regina Motor Products.
Who said that?
I did. Down here. I'm Terry the Tire. Regina Motor Products Chevrolet Collision Center and SGI accredited auto body repair is a full-service collision and body shop that works on all makes and models. Just submit your claim to SGI and set an appointment to get your appraisal done. Easy.
I bet you're tired after saying all that.
South at Highway 1 and 6, Albert Street. RMPChevrolet.com.
This fall, the eyes of Canadian university football turn to Regina. The University of Regina, City of Regina, and U Sports proudly host the 60th anniversary of the Vanier Cup, Saturday, November 22nd at Mosaic Stadium. It's the first time Regina welcomes this historic championship, showcasing the best in Canadian university football. Tickets start at just $10 for youth and students, $20 for adults, and kids under 5 are free. That's Saturday, November 22nd, Mosaic Stadium. Get your tickets now at vaniercup.com.
Back to our regular spot, Pump Jacks Cathedral. You know, I thought Pump Jacks was a kind of boot polish till last month. What are you getting? Kerwin's crispy ribs and a cold pint of local craft. Crispy, meaty, beautiful. You had me at meaty. Plus, we got live music on the weekends, big screens. This place is basically my second marriage. And way cheaper than the first.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pump Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Reliance Heath Water Heater Rentals. Bundle and save with Reliance Heath. Rent a new water heater and softener together and get $400 cash back. Call on Reliance Heath today.
Some hockey in the area tonight. The Brandon Wheat Kings are in Moose Jaw to take on the Warriors. 7 p.m. at puck drop in the SJHL. Weyburn is welcoming LaRange. Warman plays host to Flin Flon. Nipawins in Melville to take on the Millionaires. And Humboldt plays host to Kindersley. Some U15 AA action. Swift Currents at the Al Ritchie concession, hopefully open, taking on the Regina Monarchs at 7:45. National Hockey League Canadian teams. Toronto hosting St. Louis. Winnipeg welcomes Columbus. And the Calgary Flames take on Connor Bedard and the Chicago Blackhawks. An hour to one. It's for the Bundle and Save event. Reliance Heath. Rent a new water heater and softener together and get $400 in cash back. Call on Reliance Heath today. All right, we want to talk about the challenge quickly before we go to news. All right, I thought that was a fantastic challenge. At first, I was screaming at the TV, crazy scream at TV guy. I was like, why would you throw that on a gamble? I hate, because I don't like throwing slant patterns. And then they showed the replay, and I'm like, well, that guy is all over him. That's got to be pass interference. You didn't see it so much?
Well, I mean, look, Colson's running it again. I was watching
If you're watching the stream,
watching it again.
Colson's on the ball today. Hey, sit down, Winnipeg guy. Look at all these. Look at the and that's another thing we're going to talk about in hour 2 is how many people were from Winnipeg were cheering for Quebec. Okay, here.
See, if you take a look at 19 and 89, they're doing the X route
Little
on
rub.
the crisscross. So they're doing a crisscross.
Little rub jump.
Now, my recollection of that crisscross and a route like that is that it works quite a bit.
They actually in the pros you can actually even get closer. You can be shoulder to shoulder. I think. I don't know if there's that yard separation. It's seldomly called, but then Colson, go back to it. Yeah. Now I got the Miggity Mac in my head.
And by the way, what a Grey Cup victory for Mark Mueller while we're talking about it.
Okay, watch this. Let's count when he starts touching them.
And they did
1, 2, 3, 4. There's 4 seconds.
I see what you're saying, Barney. I see what you're saying. Yep.
Okay. Well, do you have it in real time? Let's call it 2 seconds. But he is all over him. And that's a great challenge. Look at that guy, almost knocks it down.
No,
too.
I
That's
see
why
your
I hate
point.
throwing the slant.
I see your point.
So many things can go wrong. But
after that, as we just said before the break, after that disappointment, Saskatchewan scores 24 straight points. Things didn't bother the Roughriders when it didn't go their way this year. They just kept rolling and ticking.
Yeah. And we want to hear from more Winnipeg people. How are you feeling?
By the way,
today?
I had some people that I know that were in the stands in Rider gear that had a great time, and others that Winnipeg fans weren't very nice to them.
Well, poor losers. I'm going there on Thursday. See what the mood is like. I'll wear Rider gear like crazy. Silver Heights, here I come. It's a Sports Cage from the home of the Rider, 620 CKRM.
620 CKRM, a Harvard media station, broadcasting from Regina, around the world at 620CKRM.com.
It's 4 o'clock. Good afternoon. I'm Corey Atkinson from the SaskToday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News. Albert Street has rarely looked so green. The Saskatchewan Roughriders Grey Cup Parade is winding up at the Legislature right about now. Sask Today's Martin Oldhughes was at the parade, telling us about the atmosphere there.
And everyone was cheering. Everyone was getting on the streets near the parade, near the players. It was an awesome atmosphere. A lot of excitement, talking to fans. This is a moment they've been waiting for so long.
Huge cheers were heard along the street as the Grey Cup was won by the Riders for the first time since 2013. The Riders Grey Cup 50-50 draw hit a record $2 million jackpot, but heavy demand caused billing glitches. Refunds are being processed and the draw will happen soon. The details are at riders5050.ca. Kevin Hirsch, the chief agricultural editor of SaskAgToday.com, shared some good news within the agriculture industry that hasn't received a lot of attention. One of those items was the performance of railway companies in recent weeks.
As of its November 16th report, the Ag Transport Coalition was reporting 6 straight weeks where the railways had supplied more than 90% of the rail cars ordered by shippers. Recently, performance has been in the high 90s. Of course, we haven't had a bunch of snow and cold weather yet. That will be the test in the weeks to come.
Hirsch also noted cattle prices continue to be high and the price of fertilizer is starting to come down. More details are on saskagtoday.com. Prime Minister Mark Carney says part of the budget's goal is to turn Canada into an energy superpower. He says that means all of Canada and all forms of energy. Carney is defending his commitment to carbon emission targets to get the government's spending plan over the finish line. That was enough to convince Green Party leader Elizabeth May to change her mind and help Liberals pass the budget, avoiding the possibility of an election. Sweden's King Carl Gustaf XVI and Queen Sylvia arrived in Ottawa today for a 3-day visit to Canada. They paid their respects at the Tomb of the Unknown Soldier before meeting with Prime Minister Mark Carney.
The motto, if I may, Your Majesty, the motto of the King is for Sweden with the times. And we're meeting at exceptional times when friendships such as ours, similar values such as ours between Sweden and Canada could not be more important.
The Swedish royals were welcomed by Chief Justice Richard Wagner this morning at Rideau Hall as the Governor-General continues to recover from a respiratory illness. And Lululemon is revealing its Canadian kit for the Milan Olympics. The collection leans heavily on darker reds and maroons, glacier-inspired blue-greens, and some giant maple leaves. Wheelchair curler John Thurston says he's a fan of the new look gear.
It's pretty cool. It looks, we look amazing. I was wearing the podium outfit. It's just amazing, just popping with red. Really cool design that they did. I love the jacket. Some of the alterations that they did to the pants as a seated athlete, I think is incredible.
It's Lululemon's third Olympic collection after Beijing in 2022 and Paris last year. That is your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620CKRM.com. Your weather is next.
Brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Lux, 1865 McCarra Street. Tonight, mostly cloudy, risk for snow or freezing drizzle late and a low down to -1. Tomorrow, looking at cloudy sky and flurries, high of 3. Tomorrow night, clearing, a low down to -8. Thursday, sunshine and a high of +3. Friday, partly to mostly sunny sky, high of 5. And Saturday, mostly sunny and a high of 4.
For 40 years, the team from Linex Regina has been protecting vehicles across Saskatchewan, and we're changing with the times. 3 generations of our family have protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved, and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment, ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Linex Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
How you doing out there? Maybe you're just coming back from the rally. Looked like an unbelievable crowd. Don Hewitt, the professor, is with me. Colson on Tuesdays for Saskatchewan Lottery. Thanks for making some time. The Prairieland Rentals text line is a buzzsaw right now. Get in on it, 936-6262. Prairieland Rentals, 600 Albert Street. We're hoping to be joined momentarily on the Western Pizza guest hotline by Paul Woldu, 3-time Grey Cup champ, former U of S Huskie, Saskatchewan Roughrider, and Montreal Alouette. We got a lot to talk about because it's the Vanier Cup coming up on Saturday. Now, I was having a debate, and this is kind of going to circle back to your comments that you got from Winnipeg. And I think somebody just sent in a text here, no name, but it says Section 233 had a mix both of Winnipeg cheering for both.
Right.
I saw some videos of Winnipeg fans going off on the Riders and draped in the Quebec flag and how much that hatred runs deep, which I appreciate. I get it. If you are gonna ride or die with your team and their biggest rival is coming into your place and you don't want any of that, okay, I'm totally fine with it. But you heard a couple of stories, and we all know it, of absolute just, I can't even say the word, buffoonery.
Right. I mean, you make a good point about the other way around, because there were people that didn't come to the Grey Cup game here when Winnipeg played Toronto that had tickets because they did not want to watch Winnipeg win the Grey Cup at Mosaic. And, of course, it flipped, because if you took a look at the crowd on TSN cheering for Montreal, you saw a lot of Winnipeg fans definitely and clearly cheering for the Alouettes. And when the Alouettes scored their touchdown in the first quarter, you heard a lot of cheering too. But you know, I had various relatives and friends in the crowd. Some had no problems with Winnipeg fans. Others were harassed. Others were challenged to fights, like what men, like the guy and his son or whatever, that type of thing, or a couple of brothers or whatever. They were challenged to let's go now, or they were challenged in the washrooms. Others
tag team
would talk to Winnipeg fans, and they were the greatest. They were great. So, you know, I mean, can you really extrapolate anything from this? I don't know. But what you said, Barney, is right. The rivalry between Winnipeg and Saskatchewan is real, and it's deep. So
I thought,
thankfully, nothing happens in the stands. That's all.
I thought that I thought, from what I was looking and then looking at social media after, which sometimes make your eye bleed, I was like, you know what? Winnipeg fans kind of seemed on board. And then I went down the other side, like I said, and I saw the ones that are rooting for the Alouettes. And the one guy was almost in tears. He was so mad that the Riders had won. Now, the fighting and all of that, don't be a Fonz. Like, what are you doing?
It's awful.
I find case. Sorry if this offends anybody, and I'm sure it will, because everybody gets offended about anything nowadays. The absolute worst fans I have ever been around. Oakland. When I was at the Oakland Coliseum, Cincinnati was in town, and who cares about Cincinnati? Really, like, it's like whatever. But Philadelphia Eagle fans, I experienced them in Arizona, and their makeup of human beings, just absolute mutants, and how they were going through the tailgate and harassing and wanting to fight people that are sitting on loungers in plus 30-degree weather in Glendale, Arizona. It's like, get a life. And
absolutely.
Then second worst, hands down, went to the stadium, went to the old Candlestick Park, and then the new San Francisco ballpark. I couldn't believe how rude. And the same thing, San Francisco fans. Yeah, my wife and I have a story about San Francisco, and I'm just like, what?
Well, and conversely, the most wonderful things about sports is, say you're watching a hockey game and there's two friends having a good time together, and one's got a Maple Leaf jersey on, the other's got a Montreal jersey on. And also, we saw pictures of people in pregame shows and whatnot of one with a Rider jersey, one with a Bomber jersey, and having some jokes and enjoying each other's company. That's the beauty of sports. That's the good thing about sports. And what you were mentioning here, and what I was also mentioning before that, where there's hostilities, is the worst thing in sports, because it's an example. How do you live your life?
If it was Winnipeg and Montreal, who would you have been cheering for?
If it was Winnipeg and Montreal,
here in our stadium.
Oh, in our stadium.
Let's hypotheticals.
Winnipeg,
who would you have been rooting for?
I sort of can concur that it would be hard to watch Winnipeg ice the Grey Cup at Mosaic. I also don't think I'd cheer for Montreal either, and I likely wouldn't care that much, but it would bother me. I wouldn't watch Winnipeg hoist the cup at Mosaic. I would shut off the TV or I'd walk away. I wouldn't watch it, but I certainly wouldn't be.
I would look
coming up to anybody from Winnipeg and being upset. All I'd say is, congratulations, your team won. That's all I'd say.
I would be scraping the bottom of the barrel, try to find the 3 degrees of separation. Do I know anybody on either team? Like, I got to find. Or if a fall else fails, it's whoever I would hammer on when it comes to Sprinkle Town. Whoever I'm gambling on, that's where I get it. I get it. But the whole picking fights and trying to do that. And I'm sure that there are a lot of Rider fans that were rubbing it in people's faces as well. So let's look in the mirror a bit.
Yeah, you have to put it in perspective. Like, I know a few players that have played for Mike O'Shea in Winnipeg who were sons, for example, of friends. I'll just put it this way, and that was Loeffler. I'm referring to my friend Jeff Loeffler, whose son Tyler Loeffler played safety for O'Shea. And Tyler said he was one of the best people he's ever met. That's what Tyler Loeffler said. And, but am I going to cheer for Jeremy O'Day against the Roughriders, or for Mike O'Shea against the Roughriders? No. But is Mike O'Shea a bad person? No. Tyler Loeffler told me he wasn't. So, but, it's how do you lead your life? It's sort of like road rage. People honking horns for no reason. Like, why live your life like that?
I'm bad for road rage. Get out of the left lane. You should never be passed on the right side of the highway. If you're driving the number 11 right now and people are passing you on the right-hand side, you're doing it wrong. Back to the game. And I was wondering how this was going to play out, because early on, I thought, are they picking on Marcus Sayles here? Like that first interception, too.
What a game he had.
And then they went back to him. And I was like, okay.
Wow, does he deserve a medal for 3 different points in that game? Number 1, of course, what you just talked about, the interception. Then he gets the ball and maybe purposely got it out of the goal line, knowing that it would be a fumble recovery in the end zone. And then who knocks the ball down in the last play of the game? Marcus Sayles. Now, an interesting point about the Roughriders and how they were, there's 2 Hail Marys actually like that in the game, one at the very end. Coach Mace talked about attention to detail all year, and it sure was evident because the Roughriders didn't do anything really boneheaded, and it was their attention to detail. So if you take a look at the Roughrider defensive backs on that last Hail Mary, and everybody in Saskatchewan and across the country that cheer for the Roughriders are just holding their breath for a PI. whatever you do, don't get a PI because we've seen so many of them in the CFL.
They never call them on Hail Marys.
If you take a look at the Roughrider defensive backs, this is coaching. This is good coaching. Every one of them was completely erect, standing straight up, sort of like how you have to play underneath a hoop in a basketball game not to draw a foul. You have to go straight up. Now, if you take a look at how they look on that, they're all straight up, making sure they don't go into any Montreal receivers. That's coaching. That's attention to detail. That's why one of the reasons why they won a Grey Cup, because of their attention to detail all season long.
And communication. Like you
Exactly.
could tell the communication. Okay, we'll get to more of that in a bit, but let's go out on the Western Pizza guest hotline right now. Western Pizza, perfect pizza, generous amount of toppings, and all the Greek favorites you love. Pick up some Western Pizza takeout tonight. Joining us, Paul Woldu. We teed it up. Paul, first off, let's get to that Grey Cup game. As a guy who's won three of them, Montreal and Sasky. Was it ever a doubt that that thing was coming back to Regina for you watching that game?
You know what? You just never know. Hey, boys, it's one of those things where I've also lost the Grey Cup too, my rookie year actually. So it's never over until it's over. You know what I mean? And, you know, when Montreal start to get a bit of momentum there, I really think. I mean, that you guys just talked about it there. I mean, the Devon Campbell essentially Sales fumble recovery in the end zone was I mean, my TSN turning point, I think, just because of the fact that, you know, there was momentum there on Montreal's side. And you know, but like you guys have talked about, they've been attention to detail all year. They've done a good job of being pretty disciplined and communicating, and it worked out great.
From a guy that played in the league for a lot of years, won those championships.
Yeah.
We were talking about it in hour one. This team, and now a lot of people are talking about, okay, who's coming back? How are they going to get everyone back and all that? Did you get that sense of like brotherhood that probably a lot of teams don't have with the players and then with the coaches?
Absolutely. I think that's the difference between winning and losing, boys. Like, you know, everybody's good, right? You know what I mean? Where you had Darian Durant on one side, there was Anthony Calvillo, or there was Weston Dressler, there was Jamel Richardson. So I mean, the talent is I mean, it's neck and neck, right? You know, I go back to even the Grey Cups I won in Montreal, playing back to back against Saskatchewan. I mean, the Canadian Air Force. I mean, that receiving core on the other side with Twos and Robbie Begg and Getz and those guys. I mean, they were dynamite, right? So it really comes down to the brotherhood, though, and I think it really comes down to the camaraderie in the locker room, and you could tell that those guys. I mean, you know, quite often this year's team, I mean, you would see Trevor with AJ, and, you know, AJ was with Thurman. They'd be walking around all together, getting off it was pretty cool. You could tell they had something special there, and it worked out. I think it worked out the way it's supposed to.
So with the 3 Grey Cup championships that you won, Paul, 2 in Montreal, 1 in Saskatchewan, did you feel on those 3 teams particularly that there was something special in that regard, the closeness with the coaches and the players together?
Yeah, I mean, you know, I think especially in that 2013 year, you know, call it destiny, call it fate, call it whatever you want. But, you know, it was probably pretty similar to the team that they had this year. So, you know, Corey Chamberlain gets hired in 2012, starts to build the roster. And I mean, that was one of the first things he said, you know, we're hosting this thing in you know, a year from now, and we want to be in the dance at the end, you know, and they end up signing the Giroy Simons and, you know, the Ricky Foleys and the Diamond Ferries. And I mean, all they did is get guys who had won championships before, you know, and it's kind of the same thing this year. I mean, Corey and company, you know, come in last year, get a feel for it, start to assemble that team together, and then all of a sudden you see it all work out the way it was supposed to. So it's pretty cool.
Okay, I want to ask you, as a guy that's kind of been down this, what are they going to be talking about? I mean, right now they're celebrating. They're drinking out of the cup. They're having that fun. But then, you know, when are the agents going to get involved, and how much of it is going to be the guys being like, let's run this back? Like, do you want to come back? Do you want to come back? You know, and maybe guys take a haircut a bit. Like, you could take a hometown discount because you were from here.
Absolutely.
And you came back. Like, when did they start talking about that? How does that work, do you think, Paul?
You know what I think? I think it was Coach Jordan Lennon actually on the actual field. I think in the post game celebration said, "Hey, look out, Riderville. We're going to run it back." Guys are already thinking about that, and I know for myself personally. I mean, we won. We were celebrating. A week long and doing our thing and making sure we were up to date with the festivities, but we already had talked about trying to find ways where guys are going to be able to come back. You're already looking at the free agent list saying, okay, I got to call Brackenridge and be like, hey Brack, I know you can maybe make a little bit more money elsewhere, but buddy, we're on road here. And we did that. A lot of guys did that, knowing that like I said, we were building up to try to do it again. Because I'll tell you, there's winning it is one thing, but doing it back to back, there's nothing like it. So it's why you play the game. So I think it's something they're all going to be pretty motivated, and it's such a talented roster. Like you look around and with two receivers, your 1,000-yard receivers not playing, and then you still see they're able to just reload the chamber. It was no difference.
When you take a look at you in particular, now you're of course coaching with the Huskies, but being from here, but winning 2 Grey Cups in Montreal. I'm Paul Woldu, and I'm sitting there watching the game on Sunday, and I played for the Montreal Alouettes. I have very good friends that played with me in Montreal. You have good friends still in Montreal. Great memories of 2 Grey Cups, and then of course great memories of 2013 here. Was there in any way sort of mixed feelings for somebody like you, or was it because you're from here, you're all green and white? How do you feel as a man and a player that won Grey Cups in both teams?
It's a great question. I got it lots actually all week, and I always tell them, you guys are parents, right? You guys have kids, right? Do you have multiple kids by chance? You guys, you don't love them any more, any less. They're just different. You love them differently, and I think
great answer.
It was going to be a win-win. It was going to be a win-win situation, fellas. We were going to be good, but no, I felt like obviously with Montreal, prior to Montreal winning 2 years ago, they hadn't won since 2010, and then same with our guys here, we hadn't won since we played last year in 13. So especially with Montreal getting one, but I think being from here, there's nothing like it's for the people, man. As cliche as it sounds, guys, we don't end up being bazillionaires when we play the game. You could say as much of it as it's a career, but it's actually a small part of it, right? You're lucky you could play till you're 30 or your early 30s, but you do it for the people around. I think Coach Mace alluded to that, man. He was so happy to be able to do it for the guys in the room, and it's pretty cool to see him. Like I said, there isn't a better place.
3-time Grey Cup champ and Regina boy Paul Woldu is joining us here on the Western Pizza Guest Hotline. Now a realtor in town, so if you need any realtor needs, you can chat football with Paul. Okay, I want to get to Saturday, man, because there's only one place your allegiance is going to lie on Saturday. It's with the U of S Huskies against Montreal here at the Vanier. Like, how revved are you for that game?
Oh man, it's the CFL is a 9-team league, and it's different though. Like it's pretty similar, I think, in terms of like trying to get out of the West, for the love of God, like trying to get out of your conference. And it's the same thing here. It's a bloodbath all the way up until the last couple of games, and the same thing with us. And fun fact, boys, I just read this the other day. Actually, they said to have Montreal and the Riders playing the Grey Cup, and to have the University of Montreal and University of Saskatchewan Huskies play in the Vanier Cup, they said there was a 0.1% chance of that happening at the beginning of the year. Isn't that crazy? Pretty wild.
Wow.
Pretty wild. 0.1. But no, I'm looking forward to it. So.
And you talked about it, right? Like, and what the Huskies are going through. We're going to have Mason Nias on the program again. Another Regina boy tomorrow, just with Anton Ammonrood and what's happening in that rally cry and how tough it is. And I watched that game against Queens, and I was like, there's no way they're losing this game. You watched the first little bit of that game, and I was like, nope, the Huskies got this one.
It's funny because in 20 years of I guess being involved in youth sport and then doing it as a coach or whatever now as a player, it's been 20 years, but I don't know if I've ever felt so eerily calm before a game like I did this one.
Really?
And in most instances, I feel like, it's such a resilient group of guys. At the beginning of this year, we lost 4 coaches, right? There was a big. And of course, there were fantastic coaches who'd been around from the conception of the Fleury era. guys could essentially help establish the foundation. So, you deal with that, and then we had injuries all year long. And then, I mean, our head Crichton.
Oh, we lost him right at the...
Okay.
You're
back.
Oh, there we are. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, just go
then,
back. That's what you're saying, Paul.
Yeah, and then to have all the injuries we had, and then to lose your quarterback, who was the front runner probably for the Heck Crichton nominee with 15 touchdowns and zero interceptions. It's just been a resilient group of guys, man, and it's been so awesome to be around.
Well, you realize, Paul, that you saved the Vanier Cup in Regina. Because when you beat the Rams in the Hardy Cup, fair and square, close game, went down to the wire. But I can tell you, it would have been a mammoth bust if Queens was playing Montreal. But with the Huskies,
disgusting boys.
The whole game is the whole game is saved because Saskatchewan's in it. So good for you. You saved the Vanier Cup.
I appreciate you. I tell you, you're good for the confidence. I tell you, we'll take the compliments. I mean, nobody wanted to watch a Quebec team and an Ontario team playing the Vanier Cup. So I hope we could be a consolation for the Regina gang. So
one thing I will ask you here as we let you go. And I get the allegiance to the Rams, and I get how people have that, and I'm from Saskatoon. I dropped out, but I was kind of a Husky a little bit, and then now I've been here my whole life, so I'm always rooting for both of them. People get out to this game and cheer for Saskatchewan, right, Paul?
Yeah,
and it's warm.
Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, it's our province. We're here to protect our turf, right? And I mean, it's a pretty unique opportunity to have a Saskatchewan team playing after it not being in Saskatchewan for 20 years. Yeah, 2006. Gosh, so it's a pretty rare and special opportunity. So come on out, pack the stands, and it'll be a good one, boys.
The weather will be a little bit warmer than that one in Saskatoon.
Yeah, no, Paul, you can be assured. That everybody from Regina and everybody going to the game, we're all cheering Huskies 100%.
Paul, thanks so much. Thanks so much for hopping on today and doing this. We'll have to chat ball again. Best of luck, and I'm sure, like I said, he's a realtor. He's a realtor in town.
Yes.
Okay, there you go.
Chat, talk real estate, and football.
Talk houses.
That's right.
Thank you so much. It's been a privilege, boys. Appreciate you guys. Take care.
See ya. Paul
See you
Woldu.
guys. Bye-bye.
Great guy. And that family's got an amazing story.
Paul is so well spoken.
Yeah.
He could easily be a broadcaster. He is very good. I guess that's why he's a good realtor too.
And he talked about when the Riders got all these guys for that run, he kind of left himself out. He was one of the guys that they plucked him from Montreal and said, "Hey, why don't you come over here and try and win a championship at home?" That was 13 was so special. The 2025 is what we're talking about now. All right, Arash Madani's coming up in a bit. We have Clutch Performer, Sprinkle of the Day, so much more. Hour 3, Luke Mullinder. He's recovered.
Actually, that's where I want to talk about, Luke, about the genesis of this Grey Cup and where it all started.
Let's go.
Because it was a few years ago.
The professor's sticking with me here. It's the Sportscage, streaming through our YouTube channel, sportscage.com.
You want to stay in the loop without any hassle. Well, we've got the perfect solution for you. The Regina Today newsletter. Get the Regina Today newsletter delivered straight to your phone. No searching, no scrolling, just all the latest news, events, and contests when you want it. Text the word news to 306-936-6262 and get the inside scoop sent straight to your inbox. Regina Today from sastoday.ca, bringing the city to your fingertips.
620 CKRM on location.
Good afternoon, Cody Glyden broadcasting from the Leroy Leisure Lotto here in beautiful Leroy. If you're in the area, stop on by Town Hall and grab your ticket in person if you want. They're $100 each, 3 for $250. I'll give you the toll-free number, though, if you're much further away. And I want to talk about just some of these prizes for a moment. Of course, there's that grand prize, which is the leisure package, or $130,000. But then there's this second prize. It's the Party on the Patio package. It's valued at $21,865. You get that to spend at Leisurescapes in Saskatoon. So think of what you could do with all that on your patio. You could get that hot tub that you've always wanted. We know winter is just around the corner. If you get sore joints from shoveling all that snow, just imagine sinking into that hot tub. Oh, feels so good, doesn't it? Or there's $10,000 in cash, third prize $5,000, and there are many other draws on top of that for cash as well. 1-866-925-3769, 1-866-925-3769.
More power, more output, more comfort. The Fendt Ideal Combine is ready to roll on your farm. The most innovative and modern combine on the market, the Fendt Ideal Combine has exceptional efficiency backed by the industry's best warranty. An unbelievably comfortable cab, the Fendt Ideal Combine is ahead of the game and the best in the game. The Fendt Ideal Combine is ready to roll on your farm. See for yourself at Nick's Service in Emerald Park. nicksservice.com.
What's going on in the markets? When is the right time to invest? What should you do with your money today? When Doug had questions, he talked to Brian Gawley.
He's always there to answer your questions, and if he's not there, he gets back to you very shortly. You never know when you got a concern. When it comes to your portfolio, sometimes waiting is torture.
You don't have to plan your financial future alone.
I would definitely recommend Brian because he's done well for us.
Call Brian Gawley of Smart Investing Solutions, 306-546-2533.
Extreme Hockey and Sport are your hockey experts. Locally owned, committed to the community and each of their customers. With their customer rewards program, Extreme Hockey Bucks, the price match guarantee, and now proud to announce their new e-commerce platform for ease of purchase and your convenience. Their expertise and commitment raise them high above the competition. Come experience the Extreme Hockey difference. 1425 McIntyre Street, conveniently located at the Cooperator Center and online at extremehockey.net.
The Sportscage Clutch Performer for Nick's Service in Emerald Park. Your local Massey Ferguson Challenger, Rogator, Gleaner, and Fendt dealer. Call 781-1077.
So many clutch performers we could go to from the Riders, from the game, from the rally today. What do you have anything that stands out from the game?
Yeah, I'd say the Roughriders 3 for 3 in the red zone in the Grey Cup game. They were opportunists when they got into the red zone. They cashed in. So that was a clutch performer. Another clutch performer, I thought, was CFL Commissioner Stuart Johnson. Johnson in his State of the Union address for the CFL. This may create some controversy in the airwaves.
For sure.
But I thought it was a great State of the Union address. And I think at the end of the day, if the fans show patience, they'll realize that the moves he's making will make the game even more exciting, even though it's really exciting now, it is. But I think the moves he's going to make are going to help the league. And getting on TikTok, 150,000 viewers on TikTok. That's a big stride up for the CFL to have that, and that's because of the commissioner, Stuart Johnston.
We talked about viewership up for the Grey Cup game.
Yes.
That's having Saskatchewan in it and like people from all over from Sasky that have moved away. So those are great.
Absolutely.
My clutch performance more of a shout out. Hockey Regina, and I know they get slagged on a lot and people rip on them, and they're trying to make some change. Hockey Regina and the Regina Pats.
Mm-hmm.
Good on you. Saturday they had it was like basically hockey day in Regina. They had two teams. Luckily enough, my son was one of them. They had two teams play at the Brandt Center in the afternoon because the Pats played at 6 p.m. and they gave them the music, the scoreboard with the video.
Oh, really?
It was the full experience basically of a Pats game, announcers and everything. And I just thought that was so well done and put together. And unfortunately, you can't do it for more than 4 teams, I guess, in 2 games. But just really well done. Hopefully they do it again next year and continue it. So Hockey Regina and the Regina Pats, good on you. Okay, Arash Madani is standing by. You got any questions for Arash on the game? I see the Prairie Land Rentals text line has a few here to get to. We'll be right back with Arash on 620 CKRM.
Hey, farmers and ranchers, do you want the next generation to know and care more about agriculture? Donate to the Acres for Education campaign by Agriculture in the Classroom Saskatchewan to help get students out of the classroom to experience agriculture. This year, every dollar donated will be matched up to $25,000 thanks to JGL, so your gift will make twice the difference. Donate at aitc.sk.ca/acres for education.
620 CKRM on location.
Well, hello there. It's Cody Glyden broadcasting from the Leroy Leisure Lotto. I just about missed my opportunity to tell you this because I was looking at the numbers. The 50-50 take home is up over $26,000. That's going to continue to grow. We were below $22,000 earlier today. We're now up over $26,000. So grab your 50-50 in the Leroy Leisure Lotto. And we still have a ticket for you here. Give us a call. Get your ticket into that draw drum. Wayne and Trudy and Regina listening in this afternoon said, hey, we want to be eligible for the $130,000. So good luck to you two. You're both into the draw drum there. And we want to sell you a ticket here, just like we did to Wayne and Trudy. All right? Tickets $100 each. A 3-pack, $250, 34 chances to win, including the big one, $130,000. Think about that and what you would do with all that money. That's a pretty nice check, isn't it? 1-866-925-3769. 1-866-925-3769.
And the puck's dropped on your financial future. Are you skating toward retirement? Don't get caught offside when it comes to your work pension, farm succession, or changing family needs. Chad Reach, Senior Wealth Advisor, and the team at GP Financial Services and Aviso Wealth are your local independent advisors helping Saskatchewan families plan for retirement and beyond. 306-584-2755, gpfinancial.ca. Mutual funds and other securities are offered through Aviso Wealth, a division of Aviso Financial Inc.
Back to our regular spot, Pump Jacks Cathedral. You know, I thought Pump Jacks was a kind of boot polish till last month. What are you getting? Kerwin's crispy ribs and a cold pint of local craft. Crispy, meaty, beautiful. You had me at meaty. Plus, we got live music on the weekends, big screens. This place is basically my second marriage. And way cheaper than the first.
On the corner of Albert and 13th, Pub Jack's Cathedral Saloon and Steakhouse. Come early, stay late. The place where friends meet.
It's time to go coast to coast with Arash Madani for Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian Gawley at Smart Investing Solutions, 546-2533.
It is Brian Gawley and Arash Madani time. Ooh, you wore a sport coat for the affair. Thank you very much.
You're Grey Cup champions once every 12 years. I figured I'd address that.
Arash, you're making the two of us look really bad because you're looking dapper.
And you're coming to town. You're coming to town this weekend. Kate, can I start with this audio? Oh, we can't hear you. Your mic's off.
Oh, he's good.
Okay.
Go ahead, Arash.
Can you hear me? Dark green jacket?
Yeah.
You're
we
looking good.
Can we start with this audio from the parade and then we can dissect it? Are you cool with that?
Let's do it.
From the rally, here we go.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys so much for making this moment special. This is your guys' moment as well. We've always had the best fans in the league, and now we've got the best dang team in the league to match you guys, man. We thank you so much. And it's been awesome. This is our 5th title, but something we've never done is go back-to-back. So let's go ahead and start talking about that. Yes, sir. Let's run it back next year and go get it done, man. We got the best coach in the league, and we're going to have the best team in the league next year, man. We love y'all. This is for Rider Nation.
Well,
it's our time.
There we go. There we go, Arash. Print the stories. Unless his wife is sitting there going, what the heck did you just say? Which I don't think is the case. Harris is back.
Trevor Harris effectively announced he is returning to the Riders in the Canadian Football League. How about, the happiest guy in Regina right now hearing that is Jeremy O'Day.
Yeah.
Now
and he's already said he wants him back.
Yeah, of course he does, Don. Of course he does. How do you find a quarterback anywhere these days?
Now O'Day knows he's got upper hand. He can grind him a bit. Well, that's right. You're 40. You're 40.
It's a hard balance when you're the best player in the Grey Cup game.
Yeah, put the trophy down. You're 40. Let's get into the negotiations. What have you done for me lately, business, huh? Oh, man.
But I know I want to go there, and we've talked about it before, because the thing that just is the absolute noodle scratcher for me is the marketing money is so, it's not regulated. It's like the Wild West. Pay what you want. So this coming year now, if they are serious about running it back, and they're going to have to, I said kinky with the books and how they're getting guys done, just put it under marketing money.
Well, and is there a time where marketing money could be any more plentiful than now in an entire province? Like my bigger fear is these guys are going on the rubber chicken dinner circuit, and they're going to be feted and wined and dined. Like, are we getting in the gym this off season, fellas, or are we having one extra slice of pie at the end of the banquet? There is plenty of marketing money to make sure that the core of this team. Like, I don't know what business is out there in the province, but whomever and whatever wants to just load up the Brinks truck and dump it on Tevon Campbell's lawn, do it. That dude is a baller, and he's got the right passport. He's it.
Here's what's interesting about Tevon Campbell. He has lots of money. He played in the NFL for a long time. He's got tons of dough. Probably one of Jeremy O'Day's, if not the best player signing over the offseason of the whole roster. But he loves Saskatchewan. He's from Toronto. He came to Regina to play for the Rams from Toronto, and he loves Saskatchewan, doesn't he, guys? And he showed it. He's got tremendous passion for this province.
I hope he does. Arash, do you know?
I am sure that while Tevon Campbell has been well compensated in his career, you know the only thing better than the money he's made, Don?
New money.
The money that awaits him. The money that awaits him. He's looking for more. But this is a team, the way they're built, like, I think Micah Johnson's going to be a tough one, but like, I just like how young their offensive line is. I think they're going to need to kind of reconfigure that defensive line with Micah a little bit, but this is still a pretty good roster. The question becomes Trevor Harris, age, blah, 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 but they're in pretty good position right now.
Well, don't forget Micah was an all-star. He's he's an anomaly. He's the bionic man.
That's the one I'm worried about. I think Emilus is going to really think long and hard and get courted, and that might be. This is just me, Rider fans. Don't lose her. That's one that I'm always saying. I think that one might not be back.
You pay him. No, but Barney, you pay him.
But he's
a Canadian. He's a Canadian. He's young. You don't let quality Canadians out of the building.
We got Mims coming up. We got Weeb coming up. I get it. I don't know about that. Okay, here's the other thing.
I think Schaefer Baker's more likely to leave than MLS, because I think they will pay what they have to for MLS. And the concern would be that Schaefer Baker's a great player when he plays, and the concern would be, will we lose Schaefer Baker to keep MLS? I hope not.
This is the ultimate compliment you can give MLS. Okay, if you watch that game, if you watch this team play, the West Final, Grey Cup, throughout the season, you would think he's an American.
Yep.
You would not.
Yeah.
Right? So, and that's no disrespect to anybody with a Canadian passport, blah, 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 blah.
He's a star.
MLS is the guy. He's a star. You pay him. And Schaefer Baker, the injuries and this and that. Blah, blah. If it's one or the other, it's not close. I get Weeb's coming, and you're going to see him on Saturday in the Vanier. But there are certain dudes you just can't. It's not that you don't. You just can't let out the door.
Okay, well, where's this? What's the ceiling there then? Let's talk. And I know there's a lot of variables at play. What's the max that you'd be willing? If you and I were controlling this was a video game. We're playing Madden. We got to sign it. We got to sign our guy. What did
I would
Gino
make
sign
him the
for?
highest paid. I'd make him the highest paid Canadian receiver in the league.
Because right now it's
Gino and Lawler, right? Kenny Lawler is up there. Gino Lewis is up there. I don't know.
That's a lot. I think MLS is going to make 200.
That's a lot of dough with how many good receivers we've have.
I would think.
I don't know.
Yeah.
And the other thing.
Let's ask our boy Brian Golly. Brian Golly's got marketing money, you know.
If he does.
Smart investing solutions. Invest in your riders.
If you're talking about all this marketing money in the province, I have a real job. I need to talk to these people that have all this marketing money. But no, I think another thing too here that maybe, and we'll talk about this down the road, is there's going to be people that want to come here. And these guys might be already throwing out some text messages and being like, hey, we're running this back and we might have this position. Would you want to come to the best place to play in the CFL?
Yeah. That's a part of it too. I mean, look, there are going to be decisions that you're going to have to make, but to me, MLS is not a decision. That's a slam dunk. MLS, Tavon Campbell, those are two that you just have to have in your mix.
See, I would love to interview Tavon Campbell. I'd love to know what's going on there. Who's his agent? What's his wife think about because that's a big factor when you get up there in any sport, the family thing.
Well, just his savviness, how he pushed the fullback into Patterson to create that fumble. He couldn't get to Patterson himself, but he pushed the fullback right into the football that Patterson was carrying. That was so savvy.
Patterson didn't even get a plane ticket home, do you think, with the Als? Did they give him a via ticket? That poor guy. Really, it benefits us. But oh wow, what a time to have a fumble. And I was shocked that they run him. I won't say now that I've seen Tommy Stevens with my eyeballs and how big he is of a human being, and then I see what other teams are running out there on third and short or short yardage. I'm like, well, this guy's an absolute cheat code. Very much like Strevler. I'll give him that in Winnipeg. But Shea Patterson's a small dude. And, if you're watching the stream, there it is again. You just see his face and his head goes down. Obviously, they should have ran the ball there, Arash. And there's so many different, points in that game where you can second guess. It's like any championship. I don't really like him. A lot of people are don't like his face and all that. Davis Alexander, kudos to him for gutting that out after his hammy pops there with a minute left.
Well, I hear what you're saying, Barney. 5, 6, 7, 8 minutes gone by in the third quarter. I'm like, they got to bring MBT in.
Really?
He was I'm sorry, he couldn't step into throws. He was underthrowing balls. As the game went on, he was becoming less and less effective. After the hamstring issue, holy smoke. And then you need a Hail Mary to boot, etc. I thought Jason Moss earlier in the game needed to go with McLeod Bethel Thompson. I get Davis Alexander's your guy. I get he's brought you this far. How many points did they put up in that football game? As a coach, the eyeball test. This is a Montreal offense. When Alexander is rolling, they score. They move the football. They're efficient. They were none of the above in this football game. And he may be your starting quarterback, but if he's ineffective, if he can't get it done because of a health issue, your job is to put your football team in the best position to win. And I don't think Jason Moss did that on Sunday night.
Barney's scribbling. He's scribbling your quote. By the way, I just wanted to say I was watching you in the UTech Bowl, Arash, and if I was teaching at a journalism school, there's one at the University of Regina. They haven't asked me to teach yet, probably for obvious reasons. But if I was giving a class on on-camera presence, this is the class, I would show tape of Arash Madani on camera, because I watched him on Sportsnet. I watched him on the UTech Bowl on CBC. On camera, Arash, you are the best in the business.
Whoa,
on camera.
Are you
After 45 years of broadcasting, I can see that.
He's coming into town. You better pay the man when you come in on Friday.
I know.
Outstanding.
Don's
camera
no
presence.
fool. He knows who's coming to town. I appreciate that, Don. That means a lot. It was a blast getting to call the football game. And Vanier Cup this Friday in Regina. I think it's going to be a blast on Saturday afternoon, by the way, guys. Like, you have the Huskies coming in. There'll be a bunch of green. I am sure anybody with a U of S connection on the Riders will be around. The trophy's going to be around. I'm sure any of the players who still want to keep the party going into the weekend are going to be around. What a run Saskatchewan football right now. CJFL, U Sports, CFL. It is all Saskatchewan.
Saskatoon Valkyries in the female league.
Right.
Somebody met Greg from Piffle's podcast, Pete. Saski's going for 4 championships.
And minor football's exploded. Since 2005, minor football participation has exploded in Saskatchewan. I believe there's 5,000 minor football players in Saskatchewan in 2005, and now it's either 20 or 25,000.
If we weren't so psycho as parents, me included, and your kids had to choose hockey, football, baseball, basketball, nowadays, if it was like back in the day, kids should be able to play whatever sports they want. But now it's a full year around the clock. We got to play spring hockey. We got to play fall baseball.
Is there anything stupider? Is there honestly anything stupider for these meathead coaches who declare this for like 9-year-olds? I just want to say this, okay? There's a dude down in Texas who was a middle infielder in high school. He played point guard in high school, and he happened to play quarterback in high school. And he ended up becoming an all-state infielder, and he was a backup point guard, and he learned how to be a better teammate because of it. And then he went on to play football at Texas Tech, and he's doing okay in Kansas City. His name's Patrick Mahomes. He did not need to be on a one-track program the whole way. Don't listen to these coaches. Get people talking to these coaches. One sports specialization is ridiculous. 9-year-old.
When we were in Austin, we went to Westlake there. They gave us a tour, and they're like, "Yep, there's Nick Folds," and he's like, "Quarterback, football team, basketball team," right? And there was, I forget who the other guy was. Okay, but back to the Vanier, Arash.
Yeah.
You talked about Saturday is going to be a party. Things are starting on Friday. Like Huskie alumni, there are parties going on in Regina. I have it right here. People are wondering, 1 p.m. kickoff local time. Tickets, $21.47. What a weird number. $21.47 is the ticket price. Students $11. I'm going to round down, and children $11. It is going to be something else. And you're from Truro, Nova Scotia. You get it though. You get Saskatchewan. Whether you're a Rams fan or whatever, you live here now. Get in there and support the green team.
Here's the other thing. And I mean this sincerely, and this is not because I'm on the broadcast, and it's not like I've been a fan of university football.
Best in the world, I heard.
I'm a fan of university football. I have been since I was 9 years old. This is high quality football. Okay, like we have the 2 best teams in the country going at it. Happens to be a Saskatchewan team, awesome because they're playing, down the street from campus. You have University of Montreal that just won the Vanier Cup 2 years ago. They knocked off Laval again to get here. And like Saskatchewan, so many good stories on this team. So many Rider draft picks on this team. I've been digging into these storylines. The Huskies, they are homegrown players. They went out a couple of years ago and decided we just need to emphasize defensive line recruiting. We need to win at the point of attack. They're going to go 7, 8 D linemen deep to make sure they're going to be fresh. There's an offensive guard, guys. The left guard from Montreal looks like Penny Sewell. And I'm not even kidding. He's just a monster. This is going to be a high-quality football game on Saturday. The 2 best teams in the country. And to boot, all through a celebration of football with the Grey Cup hoopla and the rest. I can't wait. I can't wait to get down there.
It's a full week bender.
Yeah. And you've got...
Why not?
the starting quarterback for the Huskies to start the season, he looks like he's going to the Heck Crichton. He really does. Then he gets cancer, and you've got the backup. Now, that's a storyline, and they get to the Vanier Cup with their backup quarterback.
They get to Jake Farrell's his name. So Anton Ammonrud starts the first 5 weeks of the season. Best quarterback in the country. He gets sick. He's started his treatments. He's hoping to get down to Regina. We'll see if the docs give him a clean bill of health. But then Jake Farrell takes over, guys. Has not lost a game for the Huskies since.
Okay, we're up against the clock, and Nick and Weeb's the best receiver. We just had that on the YouTube chat. That is true. Okay, Arash, I'm on assignment. I got to go to Winnipeg. They're getting me to go make sure things are all buttoned up after the Riders won, so I won't be here on Thursday and Friday. Have a great call. You are one of the best in the business. I'll say one of.
Thank you.
I don't want to offend anybody else. You know I love you.
Can I just say one thing?
Yeah.
Can I just say one thing? Through the summer and the early fall, everybody was calling for Brett Lauther's head, and it made me very happy for Brett to see him on top of that stage with the confetti going, lifting that trophy. He's now a father. He's now a Grey Cup champion. Congrats to Brett. Congrats to the Riders.
Good way to end it. Thanks, Arash. Have fun in town this weekend. You can stay at my basement. Arash Madani.
Thanks, guys.
Mrs. S will be there. She'll cook. She cooks great. Yeah, the daughter of Mrs. S will be there. Yeah, no.
I'll bring the red wine.
Arash Madani, Coast to Coast, brought to you by Brian Golly, Smart Investing Solutions. Be smart with your money. Call Brian, 546-2533. You're up against the clock. Break time. It's a Sportscage on 620 CKRM.
Winter's on its way, so why not make your move before the snow falls? Discover Venvi Renaissance, where comfort meets community in our beautifully renovated suites. Explore all we have to offer on Friday, December 5th from 1 to 4 p.m. for an afternoon of Christmas carols, snacks, and holiday drinks. Celebrate the season, meet your neighbors, and see why Venvi Renaissance is the perfect place to call home. Visit venvirenaissance.ca for more information.
620 CKRM on location.
Cody Glyton back here in Leroy. It's the Leroy Leisure Lotto. They're back for a 22nd year. Every year they help out other organizations in the community of Leroy, like the Leroy Minor Hockey Organization, the Senior Citizens, the School of Dance, the Curling Club, baseball, the Regional Park, and so much more. And they've been helping out countless people across the province with a cash injection into their bank accounts. $130,000 or that leisure package. Your choice of half-ton truck, then there's the travel trailer, and your choice of Sea-Doo or ATVs. Isn't that incredible? Second prize is that patio package, or $10,000. Third prize, $5,000. Then there are 20 draws of $1,000, 10 draws of $500, and a 50-50. And you know what? When you buy your ticket, you're in for all of those draws. They're $100 each. 3 for $250. Call now for your tickets. 1-866-925-3769. That's 1-866-925-3769.
Get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
The days are shorter, it's colder out, so you're heading home, and your stomach is making that sound like it's sucking up to your spine. How about a delicious Western pizza? Imagine it, a golden, crispy crust holding a mountain of melty cheese, savory pepperoni, fresh veggies, and that perfect drizzle of sauce. Every bite is warm and exactly what your cold, hungry self ordered. Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today, before your stomach starts making demands.
And get it hot, get it fast, Western Pizza.
If your garage door is running a little rough, you don't need to be talked into something that you don't need.
Sir, what you need is the new gigantic-esque, voluminous, astronomical, ginormous, gargantuan, exquisite air garage.
Just call Busy Bee Doors, the local experts who have been in business for many, many doors. They can fix or replace any commercial or garage door.
Wait. With me, you get a little garage door keychain, please.
Busy Bee Doors, the garage door specialists.
Here at Souls Harbor Rescue Mission, we see the struggles of hunger and homelessness in Regina every day. When you give during the holiday season, you're not just providing a hot meal or compassionate care, you're giving hope to someone who feels forgotten. And right now, just before Christmas, your gift means even more. Visit shrmsk.com and give the gift of hope today.
Look, honey, Carl's out there again with his Husqvarna snow thrower.
He's clearing our driveway again. He's a snow angel with a pull cord.
Just lending a hand, folks.
Carl, we owe you dinner. No, a weekend trip. No, naming our first grandkid Husqvarna Carl.
Or maybe just get your own Husqvarna.
Brilliant!
Stop bugging Carl. Prairieland Rental, 600 Albert Street, prairielandrental.com.
Now I've got you all to myself.
Country Corner, brought to you by Municipal Hail Insurance. Proudly serving farmers. MunicipalHail.ca.
Mosaic Stadium is playing host to the Vanier Cup this Saturday, November 22nd. Kickoff at 1 between the University of Saskatchewan Huskies and Montreal Caravan. Take in this celebration of Canadian university football by getting your tickets at uregina.ca/event. Canadian Western Agribition kicks off next week at the Real District, November 24th to 29th. 6 full days of action, including the Maple Leaf Circuit Finals Rodeo, trade show, and much more. Check out the full event schedule and grab your tickets at agribition.com. And don't miss your chance to see George Canyon and Aaron Burchett at Dance Land at Manitou Beach, a coast-to-coast cowboy Christmas matinee, Friday, December 5th, starting at 2:30. The evening show sold out fast, so get your tickets before these are all gone at danceland.ca. The 5th annual Arcola Farm Toy Collectible Show and Sale is Saturday, November 29th and Sunday, November 30th at Prairie Place Hall in Arcola. 10 to 5 on the Saturday, 10 to 3 on Sunday. For more information, call Blake Brownridge at 306-577-9904 or search Arcola Toy Show on Facebook.
For more information, visit 620ckrm.com. It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Extreme Hockey and Sports, Regina's locally owned one-stop hockey shop. Now with a price match guarantee. 1425 McIntyre Street.
Some hockey in and around Regina tonight. Brandon's in Moose Jaw, WHL 7 p.m. in Weyburn. LaRonge's in town. Flin Flon travels to Warman, Nipawin's in Melville, Kindersley and Humboldt in the SJHL National Hockey League. Leafs are home to St. Louis. Winnipeg welcomes Columbus, and Calgary travels to Chicago. It's for the home of the price match guarantee. Extreme Hockey and Sport in Regina. You find a cheaper price, they'll match it. Umbrella Marketing in the basement. They can hook you up with whatever you need. They are local. They support local. Extreme Hockey and Sport. Hour 3 is going to start with our man Luke Mullinder. It's a Sports Cage on the home of the Riders, 620 CKRM.
This is 620 CKRM, a Harvard media station. Available everywhere in high-res audio with the CKRM app.
It's 5 o'clock. Good evening. I'm Corey Atkinson from the sasktoday.ca newsroom with your 620 CKRM News for Echo Sound and Fort Capel. Stay connected with the new cell phone from Echo Sound. Call 306-332-6711. The Grey Cup was looking mighty green today in the Queen City. The Saskatchewan Roughriders held their Grey Cup parade today down Albert Street to joyous throngs of fans. Sask Today's Martin Oldhughes was there on the parade route, capturing the atmosphere.
You know, honestly, everyone in Regina is super excited. This is a fan base that loves the Roughriders. Even if you're a passionate fan, even if you're a casual fan, I think everyone loves what the team has to offer.
The team will hold its end-of-season availability tomorrow, with players clearing out their lockers. There has been some good news in agriculture in recent weeks that hasn't received a lot of attention. Kevin Hirsch of SaskAgToday.com notes fertilizer prices, while still high, are starting to come down.
Prices are still high, but urea, 4600, has trended downwards in recent weeks. Through the summer and early fall, urea was typically in the $850 a ton range. Prices are now under $800. That's considerably higher than last year at this time, but at least prices have moved in the right direction. Some producers who had been holding off on purchases are now entering the market. It would be great to know if prices are going to continue dropping, but alas, that seems hard to predict.
Continuing strong cattle prices and the railway stepping up their game and delivering more than 90% of hopper cars ordered were other positive news items. You can find Hirsch's article on saskagtoday.com. A 59-year-old Regina man is dead. 2 passengers are recovering, and a 45-year-old woman from Piapot First Nation faces impaired driving charges after a crash on Piapot First Nation on Friday night. Southey and Lumsden RCMP, Fire and EMS went to the scene at around 9:15 p.m. Police say the 2 male passengers were taken to hospital with serious injuries. The driver was arrested after going to hospital for assessment. She faces 4 criminal code charges and is due in Regina Court on January 5th, 2026. The CEO of Canada Post says it is not sustainable for the Postal Service to keep relying on government bailouts as the Crown Corporation continues to bleed money. Ottawa offered Canada Post a $1 billion loan in January to help the Postal Service remain afloat, as fewer letters are sent through the mail every year. Doug Ettinger told the company's annual meeting today that Canada Post has a plan to turn around the business so Canadians' taxes are not funding a failing postal service.
Unfortunately, the reality today is that when Canada Post loses money, taxpayers are footing the bill. That bill is approximately $1 billion a year. That is not only unsustainable, it is unnecessary, and quite frankly, it's unacceptable.
Ottawa made changes to Canada Post's mandate in September, allowing it to reduce delivery standards, close some post offices, and expand community mailbox to more addresses. That's your 620 CKRM News. Read more stories from around your community and around the province at sasktoday.ca and 620ckrm.com. Your weather is next.
620 CKRM on location.
Good evening, Cody Glyden back here in Leroy. It's the Leroy Leisure Lotto, and we want to see your ticket into that draw drum. And I know what some people say, well, you know what, I don't win a thing. I'm not going to call in because I don't win a thing. Well, guess what? Earl in Inglefeld said the same thing last year, and he got the call saying he won $130,000. Elsie said the same thing last year in Maidstone, and she said, well, okay, I guess I'll buy a ticket, but I'm not going to win anything. Well, she did. She won $10,000. So you just never know if it's going to be your year. So you may as well pick up that phone and get your ticket in there, because who wouldn't want $130,000, right? Or even $10,000 or $5,000 or any of the other draws. There's 20 draws of $1,000, 10 draws of $500. Oh yeah, and there's a 50-50 on top of all of that too. Last year's take home was over $47,000. And just before Christmas, how about picking up that phone right now? Let's get a ticket in there, okay? 1-866-925-3769. 1-866-925-3769.
Man, remember the good old days? Floppy disks, dial-up internet, and that time Stifler wrecked the prom?
Yeah, well, it's 2025 now. Time to grow up and grab a real laptop from Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer.
I'll set up SaskTel internet, maybe stream some Max TV, or relive the American Pie trilogy in glorious HD.
Come in for the Black Friday deals. They're dropping deals hotter than Michelle's flute solo.
Echo Sound, your SaskTel authorized dealer in Fort Capel. EchoSound.ca.
Brought to you by Line X Regina, Serious Protection, Killer Lux, 1865 McCarra Street. Matt's Furniture. Visit mattsfurniture.ca.
Plenty of cloudiness around through the night and some precipitation setting up, most likely flurries amounting to little or no accumulation. But it's also possible a little bit of freezing drizzle sets up in that mixture and then changes over to flurries through the late night hours. The timing of that and any changeover will be critical and likely occurs. The best bet is toward morning. So there could be some patchy slick spots, but again, no snow accumulation really, just a little bit of a coating on some of the off-road surfaces, and then through the day, the flurries will wind down on Wednesday. Temperature overnight near -1 up to 3 degrees on Wednesday. The wind overnight nearly negligible, and then picks up a little bit through the afternoon. Clearing sky for later Wednesday and Wednesday night down to -8, and a sunny sky on Thursday with a high near 3. Into the weekend, we're in pretty good shape, closing out Friday with a partly to mostly sunny sky and a high of 5. Saturday, mostly sunny near 6, a little bit cooler, back down to around 2 with sunshine Sunday. With your 620 CKRM weather forecast, I'm Precision Weather meteorologist Phil Spivak.
He's at it again. Matt's sharpening his pencil to save you money at Matt's Furniture. Starting November 20th, it's the Black Friday sale. Save big with the quality and power you know and love from Whirlpool and Maytag. Huge savings on fridges, stoves, dishwashers, and washers and dryers. You've been waiting all year.
Protected your vehicles. Our business has evolved and we're not stopping now. The next generation is here. Same family, same commitment. Ready for the next generation of truck beds, rocker panels, trailers, bumpers, and running boards in all kinds of colors. Line-X Regina, 1865 McCarra Street, the next generation of protective coatings.
Broadcasting from Century Studios in downtown Regina, Harvard Media presents The Sports Cage, where Saskatchewan comes to talk local sports. Brought to you by Sask Lotteries, bringing communities together. Sask Lottery products fund over 12,000 sports, culture, and recreation groups across Saskatchewan. Be part of the show. Call 1-866-767-0620 or text 306-936-6262. The Sports Cage. Streaming at sportscage.com, our YouTube channel, and on the radio at 620 CKRM.
For Saskatchewan Lotteries, if you've missed any of it, go back and listen to it in podcast form. However you listen to podcasts, it's a lot of fun. We started with Glen Suitor. We're going to actually play Glen Suitor again here in this hour.
Outstanding interview.
Yeah, it's great. We look back at the game. We talk about he remembers his rally when they won it. Then Paul Woldu in hour 2, former rider, former Saskatchewan Huskie, and former Alouette. Good conversation with him, Arash Madani. Also, you can go back and listen to it. You can watch it on YouTube as well. You heard the professor is with me, former CTV sports director, Don Hewitt. Colson's got things on the board. The rally and the parade today, we started talking about it. Good job on CTV for streaming it. So we had a chance to kind of watch it as we started the show here. You said you think it's the biggest one that you remember.
Well, the biggest one in front of the legislature for sure. I do remember there was a lot at the old stadium in '89, but in front of the ledge, that was the biggest crowd, and it was a week earlier than normal, and it was warmer, and everybody came out. It was great. And the speeches were great.
I wonder how many people it'd be hard to ballpark, I guess. We're down there. I know some people texted in.
Even on the Green Mile. I went down to the Green Mile after the game with my wife and celebrated, and it was hard. It's hard to guesstimate how many people were there at the time.
If you were at the rally, Prairie Land Rentals text line 936-6262. Let us know what it was like. Some of the speeches were great. Who do we got, Colson? Who are we going to start with? And you were watching. We had video as well. Logan Furland, the local boy. Let's hear from him.
Logan, they say dreams come true when you win a Grey Cup in Saskatchewan. How so?
Dreams really do come true. A lot of manifesting, a lot of hard work. Just couldn't be happier for Rider Nation and our team.
You've got the speaker's hat from the legislature. Should we be concerned?
Nothing to be concerned about. I can hardly read. You're golden.
Tell me, lastly, when you look out at this crowd, what's going through your mind, man?
This is so much more than I even expected. Just feeling Rider Nation come out. Just so excited for the province. Can't wait to get to small towns and really celebrate this.
Guy's a party. Good.
Well, he was warm. He didn't have anything under his jacket, but it's funny how these players can stay warm, and once they win a Grey Cup. It's a warmer winter, all winter in Saskatchewan when the Riders are defending champions.
Let me know when you got the next one, Colson, and who it is. But yeah, it's just the one thing to it in hour one, we're watching the game and the post game, and how many people were in tears.
Yeah,
like and we get it. In Sasky, it's like, oh, the Riders are a big deal. You know, bleed green, and I always tell people that aren't from here that I know, or when I lived in the States and all that. It's like Roughriders, farming, Roughriders, two biggest things in the province. But it like 12 years is a long time in between championships, and we talked about with Glen, and you're going to hear it again, that 89. That felt like an eternity for so many people. I was 12 years old, but I remember my parents and my uncles and aunties, and we were in a rumpus room, that musty smell, and we watched them win, and it was on like a tube TV, and pick-a-pops flying everywhere. But it means so much. And then there was the people, and good on everybody that made the last-minute decision to go. And
lots did. Just the Saturday morning.
Parents with kids and that memory that they'll have.
Oh,
forever.
going today, you mean?
No, well, today,
game,
but I'm talking about the game.
That's right.
And on social media, I know so many people that said, no, you know what? We loaded up in Saskatoon, or we loaded up in Blaine Lake, or we loaded up and we went. And I'm just like, good on ya. Now, if you didn't hear, what do we got? Can we play the Harris Colson? I don't have video. Okay, let's play the audio though, because this is the clip of the day right here. Trevor Harris at the rally basically says you can keep buying Harris jerseys.
I appreciate it, guys. Thank you guys so much for making this moment special. This is your guys' moment as well. We've always had the best fans in the league, and now we've got the best dang team in the league to match you guys, man. We thank you so much. And it's been awesome. This is our 5th title, but something we've never done is go back-to-back. So let's go ahead and start talking about that. Yes, sir. Let's run it back next year and go get it done, man. We got the best coach in the league, and we're going to have the best team in the league next year, man. We love y'all. This is for Rider Nation. It's our time.
I think to your point about the tears, Barney, and being in the stands in 2013, I saw a lot of tears too. And there's a lot of former Saskatchewanians that live across the country. They would understand if you're born and raised in Saskatchewan. But I think the only people that understand the whole dynamic and understand the emotion of the Roughriders winning a Grey Cup are people from Saskatchewan. They may live elsewhere now. They understand. Those of us that are still here, we understand. But people don't get it. If you're not from Saskatchewan, they don't really understand what it means. And there's great fans from from different teams across the country, but I don't think any team brings out the emotion in their fans or the love that the fans have for that team than the Roughriders. And that's why the Roughriders will always be my favorite team in all of sports by a mile. That's the way it is here. I would say, and before you lambaste me, Winnipeg is a close second. Yep.
And it's, I don't know, the province of Winnipeg is so different than Saskatchewan in the way, and I just look at, of course, because I'm tied to it with the pod, like senior hockey. Like you got senior hockey from Meadow Lake down to the U.S. border, and then border to border, right? Like it's just people you can get around. In Winnipeg, you get north of the Paw, maybe. Like it's almost not even that north of Winnipeg, and you got a lot of werewolves, and you're by yourself. It's just, but the Winnipeg fan base, I would say is right there with the Riders as far as passion goes. And then the third would have been, like, remember the old Edmonton Eskimos, now Edmonton Elks? Like that fan base used to be
tremendous,
so passionate.
Which I think they can come back. Connor McDavid doesn't help, but I think there's certainly lots of hope for the Elks. But the Bombers and Roughriders have the 2 best fan bases in the CFL. There's no doubt about it. I wanted to talk about when did this all start, Barney, and ended up, or do I have time? And how did it end up?
Go nuts.
Winning a Grey Cup in 2025. And I'm sorry Luke couldn't join us.
Luke's not being able to join now. He messed up the time change. He's in Alberta.
Oh, okay.
And he's been an extremely busy guy. Maybe we'll track him down tomorrow. Tomorrow we're already loaded. Rod Smith coming on. We got Huskie stuff. But go ahead.
I would have liked to have talked to Luke about this, but maybe another time. But this all started after the 23 season. This all started that ended up where we are now. And it started with a tough 22-23 season. During the 23 season, Roughrider president and CEO Craig Reynolds, who has now joined Jim Hobson in that same position of having won a Grey Cup, and congratulations to Craig. And I'm sure he was thinking of Jim at some point after the team won the Grey Cup, but he did not re-up any contracts for the head coach Craig Dickinson or for the general manager Jeremy O'Day. He wanted to see how things ended in 23, and both were dangling in the wind. After much thought, gut-wrenching thought, Craig decided they needed a new head coach. They had to move on. He also realized that the team had catastrophic injuries in 22-23, added everything up, and he decided to re-up Jeremy O'Day as general manager. Jeremy O'Day got 3 years because whoever they're going to select as a head coach, he was going to be a top candidate. They had to offer him 3 years as well, so it would match. Jeremy O'Day, one of the first things he did as the general manager going into the 21st season was hire Corey Mace as the head coach. And we know what's happened since. Last year, they won a home playoff game, lost the Western Final. This year, they win the Grey Cup. I have to do a shout-out to Craig Reynolds. Craig Reynolds, under much duress, at the end of the 23 season, kept Jeremy O'Day. And now Jeremy O'Day is one of the best tandems as a GM coach, along with Corey Mace, that there is in the league. The other being Danny Machocha, Jason Moss, and Kyle Walters and Mike O'Shea. Those are probably the three tandems as general manager, head coaches. But Craig Reynolds made that call after the 23 season. 2 years later, Barney, they win the Grey Cup. Who's giving Craig Reynolds any credit for that? I haven't heard any. But he made that gutsy call that a lot of people didn't agree with, and he was right. He was right about Jeremy O'Day. And 2 days ago, we saw the result. So that's the genesis of what's happened in the last couple of years with the Roughriders. And I also think I'd go as far as to say right now the commissioner, Stuart Johnson, is making some gutsy calls. And I also think he's going to end up looking good in the end with what he's doing.
The Craig Reynolds thing, and I totally agree. That guy, you're in a no-win situation almost with him and what he did. And you asked, who's celebrating. I think all of us are tip our hat on what he did, because you explain it very well there. Everybody at Willie's Tavern in Foam Lake definitely celebrating home of Craig Reynolds. But that 22-23 season, which isn't that long ago.
No, it's
not.
not.
And I said this back in the summertime when we were doing the show, and I'm like, can we, or maybe it was around when they re-upped O'Day and Reynolds.
I think we had someone say, can they win something first?
And I said,
you happy now?
And I said, can we go back to 2022 and 2023? There's some dark days there.
And I didn't know, as an outsider that from the actual team, I didn't know whether Craig Reynolds was making the right decision to keep O'Day or not. A lot of people wanted a cleaning of house. I wasn't so sure that wasn't the right thing. I didn't know, but Craig Reynolds was on the inside. He took his time, and he made the right call. Jeremy O'Day continues to improve every year that he's been the general manager of this team, because he's now very experienced, and he hired a great head coach. He could have hired two or three other very top-notch coaches in this league, but he hired Corey Mace, and the rest is history, and now we have 5 Grey Cups.
The other thing on the O'Day, and maybe I'll get a chance to talk to him here now that it's the off season.
Oh, I hope so.
He's a tough interview. He's guarded for sure, but the work that he's put in, and I remember when our offensive line was starting to get decimated again by injuries,
right?
And then the Canadian talent that we have on this team, and the Canadian talent that we have coming, Hundaby, Weeb, Mims. We are in a really good spot. And don't get me wrong, I think Calgary is going to make some things happen. They're going to be tough next year. BC is going to be obviously tough next year. Winnipeg, I don't know. If there was one team that I would maybe say I'm not too worried about, sorry, Winnipeg fans, it's Winnipeg. In Edmonton, but everyone's going to get better too. Everyone's going to come. But then the point I bring up to Arash,
every year is difficult.
And you bring it. I brought up to Arash. I'm like, how many is there? Maybe 2? Is there 3, 4 guys out there that are already getting text messages from guys that were tarpless at the legislature holding the Grey Cup today, saying, "Hey, what are you thinking next year? we could have a spot open on whatever position you play, because what they got going here, and if they are going to run it back, and all those coaches are coming back for the most part, and you got the fan base, and you got the facilities, marketing money. I love where we're at, and Harris coming back now is Jake Mayer. Is he the second?
There's a big question, Jake Mayer, that you just brought up. That'll be interesting to see what O'Day and Mace are going to do together, because they work so well together. That's what I like.
Where's Trey Ford ending up?
I think wasn't it Farhan that said on the air he thought that Edmonton was going to release him? I think it was Farhan or Dave Naylor. I think it was Farhan.
Doesn't fit the same mold as at all of Harris.
The other thing I like about Jeremy O'Day, if I could say this, Barney, is he's a team builder. He doesn't have a big ego. Like he brought in a coach that's going to get a lot of attention. Just he's so charismatic. Like, who's more charismatic than Corey Mace? And that didn't bother Jeremy O'Day in the least. He likes to build a team, work within a team, and that's what he did as a player as well. I remember asking Wes Cates, who does our pre- and post-game shows, about Jeremy O'Day when Craig hadn't decided whether to bring him back or not after the 23 season. And Wes Cates said definitely. You could see that where he was going even when he was a player. You could just see that this is the role for him. Another individual that said they got to keep O'Day after 23 was Al Ford, who had a lot of experience as a general manager, and he said O'Day is great. He's going to be a great general manager. And guess who made the first tackle in the 2025 Grey Cup game? The very first tackle on the Montreal kickoff return, Jackson Ford. Al Ford's grandson makes the first tackle in the Grey Cup game. Wasn't that wonderful? That was so cool.
All right, let's go to break. There's a lot. Hey, it's great. That's great. I love the Genesis thing. That's so
where
good.
Did this all start?
And Reynolds is maybe he's got a reprieve here for the next few months, but then the Kooks are going to come back, and it's gonna happen. It's going to be a real interesting off season. It's a Sports Cage. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
Been a long day, your feet hurt, your brain is fried, and now supper? You're staring into the fridge, contemplating your options, but your energy says, let's just not. Now imagine golden, crispy pizza loaded with all the Greek favorites. Feta, olives, tangy tomato sauce, fresh veggies, and melted mozzarella. Every bite is like a Mediterranean vacation for your taste buds, and you didn't lift a finger. Western Pizza. Dine in or take out today.
Get it hot, get it fast. Western Pizza.
620 CKRM on location.
It's Cody Glyden back here in Leroy, the Leroy Leisure Lotto. Larry in Buena Vista, good luck to you. Ken in Indian Head, and everybody else that have called from Regina, Balgony, and surrounding areas, wherever you happen to be. Give us a call here because, well, Leroy community is giving away $130,000 on Sunday. It's the Leroy Leisure Lotto. And they're going to have a big special event happening here in Leroy Sunday night, 7 o'clock. All the draws will be happening, 34 chances to win. Well, actually 35 if you include that 50-50. 10 draws of $500, 20 draws of $1,000, a draw for $5,000, a draw for that party on the patio package, or $10,000. And then the big one, the leisure package, or $130,000. Just in time for Christmas, just in time for the winter months. If you're thinking about going on a trip, I think we all would like to have $130,000. But you've got to have a ticket. 1-866-925-3769. Go in with your friends or neighbors if you want and team up and buy a ticket. 1-866-925-3769.
Sask Lotteries has over 50 years of winning behind us. And you know what that means? Lots of winning numbers. Numbers like over 1,200 organizations funded and 12,000 plus groups supported. $6 million given away annually in community grants. And the winningest number of all? $1.4 billion given back to the people of Saskatchewan through sport, culture, and recreation. And we're just getting started. Learn more at sasklotteries.ca.
Here comes Bill. Who's the guy with him?
You don't know him? That's Andrew, the opener guru from Dutch.
Guru, you say?
Yep. I saw your emergence last spring, and let's just say your openers looked tired. Their preseason program is on now. You should talk to him. We all know how cost-conscious you are.
Freaking Bill. Thinks he knows everything.
This season, get expert advice and save before the rush. Visit DutchOpeners.com. Dutch Agriculture, on farm for you.
It's time for the Sports Ticker, brought to you by Steelcraft Doors Regina, made in Western Canada for Western Canadians.
There is some hockey in and around the area tonight in Moose Jaw, 7 p.m. Brandon Wheat Kings in town. SJ tonight in Melville. Nipawin steps in. Kindersley's in Humboldt. Flin Flon's in Warman, and down the road in Weyburn, LaRange's in town. Some U15 AA action at the Ritchie, 7:45. Monarchs hosting Swift Current. National Hockey League Canadian teams. Maple Leafs home to St. Louis. Winnipeg welcomes Columbus, and the Calgary Flames are in Chicago at 7:30. Sports Ticker is for Regina Steelcraft Doors, made in Western Canada for Western Canada. Winter is around the corner. If you need a new garage door, Regina Steelcraft Doors. All right, Pump Jack's Cathedral Trivia coming up, $50. We're playing for $50. If you lose, you still get lunch at Pump Jack's Cathedral. So start calling now. The question is going to be based around Saskatchewan Roughriders and the Grey Cup. 936-6262 if you want to play Pump Jack's Cathedral Trivia. We're going to Sales first. Marcus Sales at the rally today. Here, this one's a good one.
Marcus, you made the first of 3 interceptions for your team. How long ago does that seem?
Man, it seems like a real long ago now because all this is taking over my whole mind. But this is such a great event, man. Regina's are the best fans in the world.
Did you know what you were in for today in the parade?
I definitely knew it was going to be something like this. I mean, you can tell. I mean, this is a special event. I didn't know it was going to be this many people and all this support, but, man, you can tell how much love there is in the city.
Now, how much inspiration is there to let's run it back?
Oh, man. That's our motivation every single year. I mean, every single game we feel like we should win. So, you know, I'm going to be on my P's and Q's when I come back. And, you know, if they're going to put this team together, that's definitely going to be our focus.
Very cool seeing you enjoying this with your family. Keep doing it.
Yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate you.
Wonderful. And what a game he had.
What do you think about him?
Well, we saw the 3 big plays he made. 3 mammoth plays, back, including the biggest play of the game.
What's going through his head?
Well, I would think that the general manager, Jeremy O'Day, and the head coach want him back. They actually got a bargain on him at one point when BC let him go. They got a bargain. But like I said, they'll try. We'll see. There's some players are going to get raises, and they're going to have to make some tough calls. So that's why Jeremy O'Day he doesn't have a 11-month a year job. He's got an everyday 365 days a year job, Jeremy O'Day, and he'll be busy. He'll be very busy.
That's a guy that was let go by BC, and it was, you know, where's my career at? And the Riders say, hey, come run with us.
Another
and 2
great
years
decision.
later, and you win a great. So maybe he'd be like, you know what, you guys took a chance on me. I still want to play another year. My family, wife's giving me the green light to go play again. Let's run it. Let's run it back. All right, Pump Jack's Cathedral Trivia time.
It's time for Sportscage Trivia for Pump Jacks. Great food, cold local draft, and a place that feels like home.
All right, Braden from Moose Jaw on the line. Braden, you there?
Yeah, you betcha.
Braden, where'd you watch the game, Braden?
I was down in Cornack watching the game.
Right on. Good party or what?
Yeah.
Right on.
Party won.
Okay, you ready to go on this? Or you're playing for $50 at Pump Jack's Cathedral Trivia?
Ready.
Okay. You're going to have 10 seconds. What do these 3 Saskatchewan Roughriders have in common when it comes to the Grey Cup? Tommy Stevens, Corey Sheets, G. Roy Simon. You have 10 seconds.
They all won a Grey Cup with the Riders.
Think again. They all have something else in common. Tommy Stevens, so think on Sunday.
What does he do?
Corey Sheets and G. Roy Simon. They all did this in the Grey Cup.
They all scored a touchdown?
2 touchdowns. The only Roughriders to ever score 2 touchdowns in the Grey Cup. That's all right, Braden. Colson's going to take your info. You got free lunch at Pump Jacks Cathedral on us. It's quite. When you look back, and I was trying to think. I'm like, Fairholm in '89, Nelgard. And it was like, yeah, G-Roy Simon though. Speaking of guys that were a good move to bring in 13.
Well, it's funny because I thought Jeremy Day had outstanding off seasons last year and the year before. I also thought he had pretty good off seasons in 22-23, and things didn't work out because half the players he brought in got injured. But just how this team was built over the last couple of years in particular was so impressive. The winters were so impressive. And as us Rider fans will do, we'll be following along very carefully with yourself as well, Barney, on Sportscage and Dave Thomas. Oh, by the way, Dave Thomas and Luke did a great job in Winnipeg, I would say.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations to both of those two gentlemen. But like every move will be so watched this year in particular because they won the Grey Cup. And how much of this team can they bring back, and who do they want to bring back? Who's their priorities? There'll be lots of talk on Sportscage about all of that with yourself, Barney.
Okay, we got to get the sprinkle of the day for Sports Select, sportselect.com. Now you can go online, make your picks, generate your QR code, and then just show up. You're a Lotto Spot retailer, and there you go. Must be 18 plus to play. Tonight, my sprinkle of the day, a little 2-game parlay. I'm taking the Winnipeg Jets at home, 170 on the pro line, and I'm going to take a tie in the Calgary-Chicago game. I'm thinking this one's going to go to overtime, paying $3.70. So there's my sprinkle of the day for Sports Select. Do you know your sports? Play Sports Select. Get cash in hand. Bet on the original. Must be 18 plus to play. Sportselect.com. It's the Sports Cage. We're streaming through our YouTube channel at sportscage.com.
It's home reno season, and with that Regina wind chill, you're better off renovating than relocating. Stay productive with a little help from Freeze Tallman. From drywall and molding to installation and interior doors, they've got everything you need to renovate your space. Freeze Tallman's delivery team can also deliver right to your home if you live in Regina, Fort Capel, or anywhere in southern Saskatchewan. Freeze Tallman's got you covered this reno season. Visit freezetallman.com or see them in Regina or Fort Capel. Freeze Tallman. Let's get you building.
620 CKRM on location.
Hi there, it's Cody Glyden back here in Leroy, the Leroy Leisure Lotto. My last opportunity today to remind you to get your ticket. We're going to be here right through until Friday, and the lottery deadline is going to be coming up Friday night. The draws are Sunday night, 7 o'clock, right here in Leroy. They're going to have a special event in Leroy Sunday night, and it's going to be a lot of fun. Last Sunday, the Grey Cup was won by Saskatchewan, and maybe that luck